You could just drag that over to the side, I think.
What, go over to your
Where's-
computer?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Is your computer on? Is it?
Yeah, it's on. It's not live, it's just recording. And Angelique, your nameplate is ordered, so you'll be getting one too.
I can't see. What does it say? Got it?
Yeah.
Is it gone? Yep.
Hello,
I
Charlie.
gotta put my glasses.
Are you,
Ah,
you hear us?
He's
Yep, I-
muted.
How you guys
Okay.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
It's good to see you.
Okay. A few more minutes to see if Dave comes and then we'll start.
Oh, I don't think he is. I spoke to him earlier. He wasn't feeling well.
Dave's not coming.
Oh, he didn't come.
No, he
emailed-
did. He emailed everybody.
Oh, I guess I
Emailed-
wasn't on late enough.
He emailed you. And he said that he didn't feel well or something like that.
Oh, I guess I didn't quite read the list. Okay, we ready? Brittany, we ready?
I'm good. Is LMC TV okay? LMC, sorry.
Okay, we are ready. Pretty ready? Okay, we are welcome. We're ready. So LMC TV, good to go. Good evening and welcome to the adjourned December 1st meeting of the Mamaroneck ZBA. For those who haven't been here, we do the public hearings first, and then we will consider applications. Sometimes we might consider applications that are closed in this meeting, but we have a long agenda and will not do so. In addition, for those of you who are applicants and are here for hearings, because normally we might close some applications, some public hearings, and the hearing would be closed, and then at another meeting, we would discuss it. Sometimes we adjourn public hearings if we need additional information or we're waiting for something. Because the next meeting is next week, and because of the required notice timelines in state law and the village code, every item that was calendared for a public hearing tonight has also been calendared for a public hearing next week. However, if you are an applicant, and if we would otherwise have closed you today because we don't need any additional information, we have to leave you open since you've been noticed for a public hearing, but we do not expect to have any discussion at the next meeting. So it'd be like just a formal application X, public hearing is open. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Applicant, please will not speak. Nobody will speak unless there's somebody from the public who wishes to speak, and it will be closed and there will be and it will then be considered a closed application. So everybody who's on the public hearing calendar tonight is on the public hearing calendar for next week. One change to the agenda, we will consider the FEIS after the public hearings and before we discuss any closed applications. I just want to introduce one of our members, Dave Neufeld, is not here tonight. And we have our new member, Angelique Shingler, is here and is a member of the board. So welcome, Angelique.
Thank you.
Okay, let us begin. The first item on the agenda is application 21-SP-22 370 Mamaroneck Avenue.
Good evening, Chair, members of the zoning board. For the record, Kristen Motel, I'm a partner at the law firm Petty & Bader on behalf of the applicant, Holly Sifflin. Mr. Sifflin is here tonight, as well as the property owner, Abraham. And the applicant, as you know, is proposing to renovate the existing food store at 370 Mamaroneck Avenue. It's first seeking a special permit to operate a restaurant in that space. It will be a full service restaurant, and the prior use, not immediately prior, but quite a few years ago was Huber's Restaurant and Bars. The space has previously been occupied for a similar use. It's about 1,700 square feet in the C2 zoning district. And the applicant is very familiar with the restaurant industry. He's worked in the industry for about 22 years. He also owns New Rock Social in New Rochelle, where they have been successfully operating since 2017 with no building compliance issues or liquor control issues. We believe that the materials that we submitted address the special permit criteria. As you probably saw, the original materials that were submitted were provided to you before we were brought on as council. And once our office was involved, the proposed hours of operation were amended. So originally, I believe on Fridays and Saturdays, a closing time of 4 a.m. was requested. That's been significantly scaled back. There's no outdoor seating or outdoor service areas proposed. The applicant will also be providing a doorman or security to make sure that people aren't congregating on the sidewalk of Mamaroneck Avenue, especially once the facility is closed. Any music is going to end by 1 a.m., which is the requested close time, and all doors and windows are going to remain closed. There'll be approximately 6 employees on the site at any one time. There's adequate parking behind the building for employees. So while there's no parking requirement, as you know, in this district, the surrounding uses are mostly commercial retail uses that close around 6 o'clock in the immediate vicinity. So we believe there'll be adequate parking. It's also important to note that there is no residential use above the first floor space. It's currently occupied as office. And as the owner can attest to here tonight, that's the intent. There's no intent to have residential above the restaurant. And I believe the adjacent spaces on the second floor are also not residential uses. There are 38 dining seats proposed and 10 bar seats. The applicant also submitted an updated menu, and we provided that with our November 17th materials. That was also expanded upon our further review to add desserts and additional items. So it's really more of a happy hour after dinner menu. And as I mentioned, the property owner and the applicant are here tonight. If there are any questions, please read.
A couple of questions. So it's a tables, mostly bar, but with food. Which of the categories of special permit of restaurant do you fall under? What are you?
A dining restaurant. So there's no carry out here.
So it's dine-in, it's going to be table service.
Correct. There is wait staff, table service, as I mentioned, 38 seats.
Right, but you didn't say there were table service, so there could be.
Oh, sorry. There will be table service. There will be wait staff, full tables.
Now, at one point, the the application, I was a little confused between the original and the revised. Talks about dancing. And it is what it is, but it's dancing planned. And then music, is it taped? Is it a live music? Do you have a band or a whatever?
Right, so the applicant has applied for a cabaret license through the village manager's office. There is dancing proposed.
Yes, sure. We're proposing to have DJ, just recorded music Friday and Saturday only. Obviously, the weekends entertainment nights, but nothing extraordinary, no like other places showing that we're dancing top of the bars, top of the tables, and I'm sorry. No bands, no live music, no just single person DJ playing recorded music, obviously, but so 5 days a week we have recorded music, same as New Rochelle location. The purpose of having it, we can have some additional entertainment for the guests and something different, but absolutely noise control, nothing super crazy or noisy.
I didn't see on the plans what you would consider a dance floor. So is there like a designated dance area you give people to?
No, we do not have dance floor. That's why, in New Rochelle, they didn't require for the cabaret because we don't have dance floor. So people can just, dance in their space, in their spot. So same thing when we discussed here in the building department, they said, even if you don't create a, dancing floor, you must apply for the cabaret license. So, it calls dancing, but technically we don't have, any platform, any dancing area. Just they're listening, having their drink at the bar or table. That's it. No club environment, no like a specific, designated area to dance or, different type of shows or anything. Just sitting down the bar area and dining.
I noticed that on the weekdays, I'm less concerned that you want to be open until 1 a.m. I don't know if there are any other restaurants in Mamaroneck that we've allowed to be open till 1 a.m. So, I mean, that's a concern in this is a residential, it's a mixed use street. So, right, we've got residential uses, we have obviously all the commercial uses on the ground floor.
Sure. Basically, to be honest, purpose of the business, it's not like a regular fine dining, regular classic restaurant. It's like kind of prior to restaurant crowd, happy hour, and after hour. So that's why we can call restaurant / bar / lounge. I would say like, it's not 100% restaurant. That's why this purpose having, the clients have more time before and after. That purpose is not like, regular restaurant hours, like closing at 10 o'clock. So our hours totally different in New Rochelle. Absolutely, this is Mamaroneck, we respect. So 5 to 2, 5 p.m., 2 a.m., 5 p.m., 4 a.m., Friday and Saturday. So that's why we, took it back 1 o'clock, shut down everything, make sure we're trying to comply with the village requirements. And then I believe, we're gonna be good with that. So since 1 a.m. is the shutdown time, normally we do half an hour prior to shut down, last call. Depending on crowd, since we don't have a big menu, like a steak or, the salmon, etc. Not like, long cooking hour items. Everything is quick, like 5 to 10 minutes. That's why we usually we do like half an hour, 35 minutes, last call, prior to close.
I have a couple of
Yeah, go
questions. You mentioned your intentions not to use the upstairs as apartments. And I saw that in June you filed, for a permit, 22-0503, converting the existing residential space to commercial office space. What's the status of the permit? Has work been done?
That permit is closed, but we have with,
Excuse me,
Yeah, so
wait,
you
you
should
need
always-
to identify yourself,
Yeah.
please.
my name is Abraham, and I'm owner of the 370 Mamaroneck. That second floor is fully office. There's 2 office floors. One office floor I occupy myself, the engineering office, and the other office is for rent right now.
Okay, so it's closed and it's been converted.
Yes.
Brian, there's another application, just to clarify, that's still in for review. It's still a pending application for.
see.
So that is still pending and work is still going back and forth for review on that. That is not an issued permit yet.
That's not an issue. Yes. Proposed the 3rd floor, 4th.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. In October, it says vertical extension from 2-story to 4-story.
Yes.
And,
With the setback.
okay, so what is gonna be the purpose of the additional floors? What is the intention of the additional floors?
Most probably is gonna be office. If not, it's gonna be like a penthouse.
Residential.
But we haven't decided right yet.
So it has the potential to be residential.
It's slight potential, but not, mostly office is gonna be. Most likely it's gonna be office.
Okay, it has the potential to be residential, and it's under review.
And
You-
it hasn't been, we have.
You have
we
intention
submitted.
of building, yeah.
We have, and it shows office area, it doesn't show residential.
No, because you're talking about putting up 2 additional floors in the future.
He says.
I'm thinking maybe in 2-3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, but obviously it would take a while to get through
Yeah.
planning. Okay,
So if the uses above the first floor space were to change, we'd be amenable to a term of the special permit that would take that into consideration, so that the applicant would have to come back for a renewal, and if circumstances change, in that case, then things would be adjusted.
right, and that would be our recommendation, so, yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. One, you were asked about what this is characterized, and you said a restaurant, is that right?
That's
Well, according to the definition of restaurant in our code, it says, and I'm reading, the term restaurant does not include a business whose principal operation is as a bar, cabaret, etc. So it sounds to me that this business is principally a bar.
I wouldn't categorize it as a bar because there's no dance floor, there are seats and tables, it's not standing room only, and the intent is not to operate it as a bar.
Well, if you look at the menu, and I don't know if I looked at your
No,
revised.
I didn't see the, you were like, I only saw the original menu, not the updated
Okay,
menu.
the menu looks to me like a bar, it reads to me like a bar. The principal business is selling alcoholic beverages of some type.
So this is. And then you've got the desserts.
I mean, it's just a question of definition. It's not saying you can't operate as a bar, but
You know what it's
You're,
like?
you're right to do that,
Like,
the basically name of the business. When we created New Rock Social LLC in 2016, so it's when we have a New Rock Social Bar and Lounge,
Mhm.
we just didn't want to complicate it more, like bar, lounge, grill, etc. We make it bar and lounge, obviously, since I don't know the state liquor authority requirements for a long time. No bar or nightclub can operate without food. So since you have the food, technically you are the restaurant. Oh, we make whole versus the other restaurants, 80% food, 20% wine or alcohol. But I would say maybe this concept of business, 40% alcohol and 50% food. So combination might be a little bit different than regular dining restaurant.
It's
The
actually,
intent for the service is pre-dinner, happy hour, and post-dinner, small bites, right? So it's a different concept than a sit-down, 5-course restaurant, but at the same time, that's not to say it's not a restaurant.
it sounds actually like Barley.
I was just gonna say, it's kind of like Barley's.
Right,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Then did we?
Yeah.
We must have given them a special permit as a restaurant, Brittany? Can you, I don't know if you can find tonight, but
But if we did, maybe that was wrong. I mean, because
I understand, but I'm just trying to think.
Okay.
Just what have we done? It looks a lot like Barley's.
yeah, no, agreed. But it
So-
sounds like your revenue is going to be more than 40% alcohol. It sounds like your revenue is going to be over half alcohol. I don't know if that's how it is in New Rochelle, but I mean, again, it's not saying you can't do it. It's just saying I don't think you
Absolutely.
meet the definition of restaurant per our code.
Absolutely understand. That was the purpose. This is a little bit, I would say this concept is something not usual. You're not gonna see this concept everywhere. And, either bars or, pubs or nightclubs or regular dining restaurants.
Mhm.
And or fast food restaurants. This I can call a little bit, different category. There's no category to put under the right.
No, agreed.
Technically, but that's why we try to, and it's been doing great, to be honest, since 2017. As we mentioned, as my, representative mentioned too, like before dinner, after dinner, special events, graduation, the birthday parties, they can have some small bites and they can have good music, they can watch sports, football, NBA, etc. This is all combination of everything basically. But again, I would not say, steakhouse.
Right, but what you had said, and I think the bigger point here is, you were trying to make a case that because you don't have more expensive items on the menu and that you're not a restaurant in that sense of the word, that you're asking for longer hours, almost as if that's the only way your business is going to be economically viable. And is that is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and is there, would you be able to provide some kind of, I don't know, spreadsheet showing economic viability based on the hours? Because we do not have restaurants or bars open in Mamaroneck, on Mamaroneck Avenue, during the hours that you're requesting.
Monday to Thursday.
Monday to Thursday.
I believe, I did some research. We have some bars, pubs in Mamaroneck, maybe not in Mamaroneck Avenue, and even they're open until 4 a.m.
We have never given a special, I don't believe we've ever given a special permit.
Okay,
For
if it's
anything
grandfather
like that.
in, that's absolutely, I respect the board, but,
What restaurant or bar do you think is open to?
village station,
Oh, because we don't have, because to some degree it's not an
And
issue for us.
that's.
Yep. Because it's on, we
That's
had
it.
this issue, yeah.
And that's in the Boston Post Road, open until 4 o'clock.
Okay, yeah.
So
Docs.
Yeah, that bar.
Irish,
Yeah,
Irish
duck.
pub.
Yeah.
In the Boston Post Road,
That's open, right?
Yes.
So the Monday through Thursday, actually all the time, a half an hour before the closing time that we're requested is going to be service will cease. Right, so it's not a situation where we're asking to stay open till 1 a.m. on a Wednesday and everybody will be out by 1:30. Right. So that, I mean, in terms of that, it's reasonable for a small business owner, and this is their business model, to need that additional time to bring in revenue. And this is
after restaurant
customers.
hours, basically.
I understand that, but you've already expressed a concern, recognizing the fact that it's, you do have residential on the avenue where you started off by saying that, they're going to employ somebody to clear the streets.
Well, they're gonna have somebody there who's able to do that, right? Because it would be. Mr. Saheed's very conscious of the fact that that's something the village is concerned about, right? So it would be irresponsible if he didn't have someone designated to make sure that that's the case.
Right, and we have to sit there and we have to look at what else is going on the avenue, and you're gonna have patrons. Some of them may smoke. Some of them may go outside and yes, you may have somebody to clear the streets afterwards. I don't really know what kind of authority they're gonna have to do that. But you're gonna have at least people coming in and out of there through the hours of operation, which are later than what we have on the rest of the avenue.
Right, and in the surrounding area at street level, most of the commercial businesses close at 6 or 7 o'clock, right? So it's not, further down the avenue, you have more restaurants and more establishments that stay open. But in terms of the immediate area, those buildings are vacant.
So I'm sorry, how is that relevant to, or how does the immediate neighbors not being active restaurants or active businesses that are open late relevant to the question of this business?
Well, isn't it relevant to the special permit criteria that talks about the impact to the surrounding area, right? When you're talking about
Right, those-
noise and.
Okay, I don't think surrounding area is limited to the neighbors. I think surrounding area includes the surrounding area. So, okay, no, I understand. Okay. Sorry.
No, I
Yeah, no, I have a couple more questions. And maybe I missed it. It said that on your application, that the members of the LLC were attached, but I didn't see the attachment of the members of the LLC. Is that included in the application? So
That was the original.
if you look at page 7 of 22 at the bottom, it says, attach a separate writer listing LLC members, and it's then written in, says attached. And I don't see
If they're
that.
not there, then please submit.
We can submit those if they're not.
And then, it looked like the survey was an old survey. You know, it wasn't within the past year.
The survey that was originally submitted.
Yeah.
Was from 2020.
Yeah,
And
and
the
we,
applicant originally filed in October 2021. My office provided a supplemental in November.
do we have a supplemental survey?
I don't, he's not doing construction work. I don't know that we need, it's up to, if you want to ask her, but I'm not sure that we should.
But don't we have a policy that we asked
We have-
for?
We
For
certainly
the
do.
special permits, we haven't been doing that. It's not for a variance, so we haven't been enforcing that.
Okay, okay, then that's fine. And I just want to just note that on page 12 of 22, under special permit, you have all NA, which
She did a,
you did a supplemental,
Yeah.
maybe?
yeah, she did a whole supplement. No, it's
Where's
not.
that?
in
Yeah,
there.
that's the new packet. This all superseded by the new packet.
Okay, okay, then I will look through that. Um,
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then just the last thing, you mentioned noise control, that you were gonna try to manage noise control. How will you do that? What's your plan?
Okay, the purpose of our business, so we mentioned a couple of times before dinner and after dinner. I heard about the sensitivity of the village of Mamaroneck about the noise, or I know I was the former Mamaroneck resident. I remember the problems from Marlins used to be open up the windows and blasting the music, all those residential units complaining every single day. So we're not in the same case, but since we proposing to operate after 10 o'clock, which is regular restaurant hours. So imagine that, for example, you're dining with your, husband, you have the dinner, you have a couple of wines, etc. And then you stop by Mamaroneck Social, you got another cocktail or dessert, and maybe a little bit tipsy. So then we try to do an extra step to avoid any issues after that. So maybe younger crowd, obviously not an older crowd. So maybe get out and then a few more drinks, maybe act differently and maybe loud. That's why we wanted to control it in case if necessary. That's the majority of the plan for Friday and Saturday, which when the big crowds, going out for entertainment, for big restaurants and bars, especially Friday and Saturday. So same thing we do in New Rochelle as well. We don't have any security guard in anyone except the managers, business owners on site Sunday through Thursday. So obviously part of the business, hospitality industry, so Friday, Sunday, everywhere, yes, easier than weekdays. That's why we get precaution to have extra person to make sure everything under the control after 10 o'clock, after 9, 10 o'clock till closing time.
So let's say it does get loud for whatever reason. What's your plan for mitigating the noise which just spontaneously happens?
Inside or outside?
Inside,
Inside, we do have plans. So inside, we all have the, we also gonna propose in DAR the storefront change. So unfortunately, a lot of people are unhappy because of that, the stained glass and everything. But we have to replace, because of 2020 health code, with the new double pane insulated glass with a new aluminum frame. So we have that plan, submit the building department as well with our original blueprint. Then we're gonna have it, since summertime, you can open it earlier, but nighttime at the same time, you can shut it down because of the double pane, insulated, heat, sound and everything. You're not gonna hear anything from outside.
They have OTCI of 2.5, is the storefront. Storefronts because of double glass
So
pane on it.
the noise from inside won't
yeah.
travel out to the street.
Not much, No. And noise from outside will come, yes.
What the number of seats? or-
We have it.
No, I know. Is there anything that we need to
No.
ask or reveal?
not on the field question. That's why I asked about the dance events. Angela, do you have any questions?
No,
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak on this application? Thank you. So what do we want to do? Do we have any additional questions? Do we have,
But we want to get the LLC.
we do want to get that, but do we, the question is, would we otherwise, we can't close it technically because it's on the agenda for public hearing next week.
Mhm.
But failing that, would we otherwise close it, or do we have any other questions we want to find out?
Do we want any kind of economic viability study to justify
I
their
don't know that
request
that's-
for the hours or no?
I don't think that's, to me, that's not relevant, but if all of you think we should get it, then we can ask for it.
Yeah, maybe we should. And the thing is, since it's next week, maybe Dave will have a question he wants to ask. So maybe we keep it open because it's only a week.
Well, I mean, that's part, but they're all gonna be open.
Okay, they're all gonna be open.
They're all
okay.
gonna be open.
Okay,
But the
okay.
question is, do we have anything else we want them to
Oh, yeah,
provide?
yeah.
That's the point.
We will submit the rider with the LLC members. In terms of the financials, this is a new business in a new location. And it's going to operate differently, obviously, than the new Rochelle location, which you heard, right? Scale down hours, which is also why the economics are so important. I don't know if it's necessary, and I'm not sure I'm not sure as to the basis that we would prepare a financial analysis. I can defer to my client, but I don't think that's something that is reasonable to ask for on a special permit in terms of evaluating the criteria.
It's up to them. In a special permit, you're doing a balancing test, as you know. And you're asking for something which doesn't currently exist on the avenue. And if you don't have any more information to back up or justify the hours, then we're just going to consider it based upon what we heard tonight, which is fine. Again, you're right. It's a little difficult to come up with an economic thing, but it's just what you're asking for. So figured we'd put it out there.
I mean, it's a product of hours by customers, right? Like, I would think it would be a simple equation. If there's anything else
Well,
you want to add.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Okay, so going back, so the hearing is, well, obviously it is not closed because nothing is closed tonight. And unless somebody has anything else that, where there's a member of this public, I don't know that we'll have any further questions for anybody.
Okay,
So you do not, basically, the bottom line is, unless anybody on the board has questions, or unless somebody from the public wants to speak, you do not need to present again. We do not expect a presentation again. We would only be interested if you have anything else to add that wasn't added this week, or to answer questions if we did come up with.
Right, and
right,
if you,
Mr. Newfeld is present.
Or if somebody else is up, right? But we don't expect you to present again. It's done. That part of it is finished. Okay? Done. So technically adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is application 25-SP22, 805 Mamaroneck Avenue.
The record, Kristen Motel from Petty and Bader for the applicant CVS. CVS is requesting renewal of its special permit to operate the retail store and pharmacy at 805 Mamaroneck Avenue. The special permit was last renewed in March of 2020. It was originally issued in 2017. There's no changes proposed to the ongoing hours or to the operation of the pharmacy or the store. CVS has been and continues to fully comply with all conditions of the special permit. The term that was granted in 2020 was for 3 years. And as you saw in our letter, we are requesting either an indefinite term or a term longer than 3 years, given that, CVS is a major pharmacy, and if any changes are going to be proposed to their operation or their hours, they know they have to come back. But they are operating business as usual to have to come back every 3 years. Fee submit is not necessary, especially in the sense that over the last 3 years they've provided prescription medications and essential goods and services during the pandemic. The location isn't proposed to be expanded in the C1 district. There's no changes, as I mentioned, proposed. And we did submit a report of violations on that total property. All of those incidents that involve CVS, there were 2 of them. They have been closed and resolved. We also have a report from the police department that there are no ongoing no violations and no.
And there was, as I recall, in connection with the variance and for the parking and or in connection with the special permit, at some point, and it could have been later because CVS was one of the earlier applicants as we went through that process. One of the things we started imposing on some of the later, which was really an imposition on the owner of the shopping center, had to do with the requirement that there be someone to park the cars. Do you remember that, Greta?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering how parking is at the site, at this little shopping center.
Well, in terms of, I can't speak for the other tenants.
Well, you can never speak to the other tenants, but it is a shopping center. Therefore, there is one parking lot there for all the cars parked, whether they go to one use or all of the 7, is it 7, however many stores there are, somebody can go to all 7. This is a question about that parking lot and the operation of the stores and the operation of the businesses, including CVS. So my question is about the parking lot. Is it adequate? Has there been a problem with parking?
CVS's position is no, there has not been a problem with parking, and especially during, as I mentioned, the pandemic, given like the essential nature of pharmacy and how much it's being accessed, there's no issue with parking. And I drove by on my way in. This was right around the dinner time, and there were plenty of spaces.
Anybody have any questions?
Just a couple of comments. One, the original 3-year period or these 3-year periods for the permit is typical for a new business. But I can understand where you're now, since they've established a history of compliance, where you're asking for more. I've personally been in that shopping center quite often. It's busy, but I've always had a
Yeah,
spot.
I just wondering what they thought. Since they're more
Yeah, no, I
than we
let you ask the question. I'm just putting that in that there's, seems to be working.
Greta, anything?
No, that was my question about the parking, so.
Angelique,
ask and
anything?
answer.
Okay, is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak on this application? All right, so then this is not closed, adjourned, but we have no questions, so we do not anticipate anything other than immediately opening and closing it at the next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next item is application 26 SV 22 1043 West Boston Post Road.
Keep it there, but we're going to take it with. I believe we're giving that for variance for our pylon sign. There's currently an existing pylon sign over there from the previous tenants. I guess not completely up to speed with this, so we just put me up for a last minute. I think safety is really the issue that we're looking for. I know we are 35 feet set back from the road, which is less than the requirement for the pylon sign. However, the visibility for the tree lines along both sides of the property obstructs our building. So the main focus is the safety, whereas drivers would be able to see our store until it's too late, possibly causing risks on the road.
I have a question about the sign itself. I mean, you talk about the request, it's talk about the sign cabinet. Is this a replacement in, it's not a replacement in size, it's not the same size as the prior one, correct or not correct? I wasn't clear on that.
Larger.
Well, I wasn't sure. It looked like a different shape, but I wasn't sure about the sign.
Yeah, it looks like I actually tried to,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
asking. That's why I wanted to find out.
essentially the same.
Well, that's the question for him.
Yeah.
That is a question, Mayor, apologize.
But no, I did the math.
Did
and it
you
looks-
try to do that?
Yeah, it looks like it's
That's why
essentially.
I
the
asked. I
same.
thought I'd go straight to
So
that.
Greta, you did the math, so is it the same
Well,
size?
it's essentially the same. It's not
Different shape,
materially different.
obviously, but
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
right, but that's, but I was wondering about the actual X square inches versus Y square inches.
You know, I believe it is gonna be a little different. Similar, but no, not exact.
Right, well, it's, okay, is it gonna be lit? I think it's,
believe
is
it
there,
is.
is there a light panel in back? of
I'm
this?
sorry, are you the, out of curiosity, since you don't know, you're neither an engineer, you're just like a bill property manager or something?
I'm the project manager for Founders Civil Restaurant Group. And full disclosure, I'm the only one who's not on vacation this week, so.
Robin, it says under the specifications, it says, white LEDs, pre-finished aluminum, sorry, skin. It said something about, I think it is light, it may have that like glow to it, almost the white area, I think, but I don't,
Yeah.
let me see if they wrote it.
Well, it's backlit,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
answer to the question.
Yeah, just backward.
Listen,
Okay.
before the original meeting where this was heard, the then chair asked me to go do a site visit to see exactly what was being asked for and why. This sign is 2 feet wider than the original sign. And the intent, and it is lit. I don't know if the original one was lit, but the intent and purpose was for safety. You're near the school over there. Those driveways are perfect right angles. They're not curved going in. So, I do recognize the concern that if you're driving down Mamaroneck Avenue, and you don't have more notice, you may not be able to slow down safely in time. There's also some trees at some of the other locations close to it, which are slightly obstructive of the current sign.
Not in my package,
Yeah, that's
not in my
it.
package. They're not, I know this is.
So you can see it's
Two-
wider. They're not
4x4
asking,
is 16 square feet, 2.8, 2 feet 8 inches times 6. It's it is about the same size.
right, but the
a
orange
longer-
is
well, it's different.
is
No, no, I know
wider
it's wider.
to get more attention. So what is the exact variance you're asking for, or do you not know? Are we asking for a foot? Are we asking for 2 feet? What is, Brittany, do you know what variance they're asking for? Because my sheet says
I don't have anything. So
something about a 35-foot setback.
This is strictly for having the actual sign, the pole sign. Nobody has those anymore. They're not grandfathered in, basically. So we were explained that because they don't meet the 50-foot setback, they're not far enough setback. They have to go for a variance to allow them to use that existing pole and existing sign that's already there.
yeah, this is not the first one we've had like this. We've had other applications for reuse of a freestanding sign like this.
I think Dunkin' Donuts on Boston Post Road, East Boston Post Road attempted this.
There's a few of them and
Yeah.
some are existing and some
and
are.
we can't grandfather this,
Well,
why?
even if we could, they're changing the dimensions and they're
So
changing.
that materially, that
Even
makes-
if, even if we could say, yeah, use the existing sign, just it's grandfathered, although maybe it's been out of use for so long, in which case it can't be
So
grandfathered.
we'll
oh, okay.
deliberate it when the time comes. I just think that there's nothing more to this application than
No.
what we know. I don't have any other questions.
There's a total amount of signage that's allowed in the village per building. When you, I'm just curious, because I don't know if that's relevant, but it's just something we should need to think about. When you add this, right, the building itself is going to say chopped on it somewhere and in some size. When you add this sign plus that sign, presumably it exceeds the maximum signage allowed in the village, and maybe it doesn't, but do you know if it does? Because I think that may or may not be relevant just in terms of whether we need to give a variance for that, whether that, and maybe we don't need to give a variance, but I think that's a question, Charlie.
I think this was touched upon. Barbara mentioned this, but I want to say there was a reason because of what the approval they got on the last sign, that I'm not 100%.
Charlie, do you know the answer to the question?
I don't know the answer to that specific question, but it's certainly to look into. Are you thinking that this square footage of this pole sign would count towards the signage permitted on the entire building?
I'm asking if it does. I'm not saying we couldn't give it anyway. It just
Yeah,
might
we
mean
just
we
have to
need a
know
second variance, in
what
other words.
variance we're giving.
Right, or variances. So the question would be, does it go to this total signage? Is it relevant to that determination? And is it? And if it is, then you just have to amend the application to include it. If not, no big deal. And if it is not, then it's not. So
Right.
I just think we need to find that out and see what the answer is. So I guess that's a question to figure out. So it's something we're just going to have to figure out between now and the next, hopefully the next meeting, but that's next week. So
Is our side, is Charlie or?
well, do you have you might, I know you didn't get a lawyer for this, which is fine. You might ask, see if someone at your company knows the answer, or can find the answer. And Charlie, because Charlie's leaving, we'll have to ask the new counsel the question.
Yep. That's
I
no
think
problem.
Barbara Carey had that application in front of the BAR, so I could also ask her. She's kind of the sign guru.
Ask her. So let's see
Okay.
what we can find out about that.
We'll have our sign company also.
Yeah, they may know the answer
They
to
might know
that
the
too.
answer.
Perfect. Okay. Anybody from and the public wish to address this application?
I have one other question, Robin.
Wait. So no I don't see any speakers. Okay.
But it's really maybe a question I can ask you, Robin. On page 8 of 22 of the application, when you designate if someone else is authorized to act as representative in the appeal, they designate Justin Gould. But then Justin Gould is the person certifying all this. It doesn't seem proper. It seems like the applicant should be certifying this, though they designate Justin Gould.
I don't think they have this page.
Here, I'll show you.
Thank you. My page 8 doesn't say
So
that.
here, page 8, they're designating Justin Gould. but
Yeah, see,
then-
that's not, I don't.
And
have
then Justin
what I
Gould is
have.
certifying everything. It seems like he's designating himself and then certifying. It doesn't seem.
Yeah, that's what people do that all the time.
They do?
This is a crazy application form that we need to revise.
All right. Because it
Yes, we
doesn't
did.
say.
And speaking of that, just before I forget, because I've already forgotten, board members, we need to set a date, whether it's in February or whatever, for a special meeting to discuss nothing but administrative processes,
Yeah,
the application and everything else. So
That would be
I
good.
think what? Yeah,
That
so
would
I
be
think February maybe,
yeah,
because,
yeah.
so Brittany, don't tell us now, but if you would look
Okay.
for a date that we could do that, it would be really good. Sorry, that was a hiatus there. Okay, so we will adjourn this. We will try and get an answer to the question about size. You try and get the answer to the question from your sign company, and we'll figure out whether we do anything else. Oh, wait, so what are chopped hours? That's the question I have.
10:30 in the morning, so generally 8.
So the sign is, because I remember this came up on another application.
Question.
The sign is only going to be lit from 10:30, it doesn't matter, till 8, or are you going to have the sign lit all night? What are your
The
plans?
outside, the exterior lights are usually on timers, so they can go off at a certain time.
But so the pylon sign, are you planning to turn it off at 8 or 8:30, whatever, something like that when you close? Or is it planned to be?
No, it's generally on a timer with the exterior sign anyway, so whether it be, we usually give it about an hour.
Yeah, whatever it is.
But yes, it usually
Okay.
definitely goes off at night time. It's not running.
Perfect.
To
Yeah.
Resolution.
Okay, nobody else, so then this is adjourned until the next meeting, and we'll hopefully have the answers to that. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 18 AV 22-572 Van Ranst. We're a very busy woman tonight.
For the record, Christine Montel from Petty and Theater for 572 Van Ranst Place LLC. Our whole team is here tonight. Brendan Ahern represents representative from GC Capital, owners of the property, John Sullivan from Sullivan Architecture, Stein from Hudson Engineering, Brian Dempsey, TTX Provident, the traffic consultants, and Dan Connors, Harris Energy Solutions. I know we had last appeared before you in October, and I can provide a summary of where we're at because there are additional area variances that we needed to request as part of the application.
Please.
Sure,
Go
yeah,
through that.
and just a review of the proposal, and I will be brief. We are replacing the existing two-family structure, which is 6 bedrooms total, with a resilient, sustainable 5-story multifamily residential building with 10 units, powered by a state-of-the-art fuel system that can operate independently off the grid. Rooftop solar and EV charging are also proposed. The building will exceed floodplain development standards, so it'll actually be raised 8 feet above the base flood elevation, and the parking will be provided on the ground floor of the building. The project increases flood volume storage on site, and it's going to also propose new stormwater management. The variances, which I will go through in a second, mainly are the product of the sustainable, resilient features of the building that are proposed. Procedurally, we have a site plan application pending before the planning board. And the planning board has declared themselves as lead agency. They adopted a negative declaration under SECRA in July over this past summer. We found no significant environmental impacts associated with the project after a very, very long and thorough review of traffic, parking, and all environmental impacts. During the process of this application, the applicant had a updated survey done to the premises in August. And unbeknownst to them, that survey disclosed a 10-inch encroachment along the northern property line for the adjacent condo building. And that's the condo building that this proposed building is going to mirror in massing and in height.
I'm sorry, you said an encroachment by the adjacent
Correct.
building onto their property.
Yes, that's correct.
So you've got encroachments on the side
One side yard.
and you've got encroachments.
That's what we picked up during our last.
Yeah, no,
meeting.
but it's just, but there's also one on the side. There was a side.
This is the one on the side.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
This-
there's only one
this is-
encroachment.
Oh, I thought this was a second
No,
encroachment.
It's the 10 inches.
Okay.
That's.
I'm sorry, I thought it was a second one. Okay.
Yeah, and so the purpose of the amended materials, we submitted an amended application to this board, was to address that encroachment. And our office looked at it extensively. We had a surveyor go out and review it, and John Sullivan can speak to that. It was double, triple checked. And the encroachment in fact exists. It is 10 inches. We do need 2 additional variances that weren't already requested. One of those is for the encroachment itself. The other is for coverage, and I'll get into that in a minute. And then we need to modify the previously requested FAR variance. We provided the updated building department determination to you as well from November. Now that encroachment, we have, and our papers go into this, so I don't need to bore you with the details, but after a thorough review, it is the applicant's position that they still own that property. So the property line that is shown on the survey is the actual property line that exists, notwithstanding the encroachment. And therefore, we're not amending the requested side yard variance.
I have a question.
Yes,
When was that building built?
2008, approximately.
Okay. That's 2008 to 2012 is 14 years.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's a ground level encroachment.
Correct.
Okay,
Encroachment, I forgot the adverse.
adverse possession,
So
that's. why
that's
the
what was getting, we
It's been a
looked at
long
the
time.
2008 revisions to the
Yes,
adverse
that was
possession
what I
law.
was,
And the case law associated with that, and have determined that we don't believe there's a valid adverse possession claim. That being said, the client, our client understands that there's a risk. in proceeding with this, but
This
we are
is,
taking the position that there is no valid. adverse
okay, so
possession.
gonna have a question for our council. I'm not determining whether it is or isn't. I'm not making any conclusion on that.
Of course.
So if the neighboring building decides that they want to pursue an action in order to claim it by adverse possession, and it is eventually determined that you don't own it, I guess at that point you'd have to come back for another variance?
Correct.
Okay,
And the applicant is aware of that risk and is willing to pursue.
okay.
Should I continue?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted
No,
to
that's fine.
understand what
Of
was
course.
going on with that.
So the modifications, the FAR we had requested previously was 1.5, now it's 1.6, a 0.1% increase. It's 51 square feet total, that encroachment. So for coverage, that puts us over 51 square feet. We were previously conforming with coverage, and now we need a 1% variance for that area. And we also need a variance, I guess, as you had brought up, Robin, at the last meeting, from the definition of yard itself, which does not allow an encumbrance or something occupying the yard. So that's an additional variance that's requested. And given that this condition has existed on the premises since approximately 2008, we submit that it's not a substantial change to the overall scope of the project and what's going on. It's not substantial to the character of the neighborhood. It's existing, and it's also something that the applicant did not own the property at that time. It's completely not self-created. In addition to what we provided you with in November, we also provided copies of the variances that were granted for that condo building next door. They actually did get a 1.6 FAR allowed on that property. So we actually, in fact, are mirroring that building in most every sense of the way.
Just so the 3 new variances
Mhm.
that you're asking for are all the result of the encroachment? Or that,
Correct. Yes, everything that was updated is solely the result of that encroachment.
so the floor area, here's an interesting question. So the floor area ratio, the FAR variance that they got, and I have to admit, I did not go back and read this. It was in the application package.
Yeah,
I didn't go back. And the FAR variance that they got may be wrong. Because if the FAR variance that they got was premised on their survey, and presumably their survey doesn't include your land, then their FAR variance was wrong. And we have to ask council. So is another question for me to ask council.
I'm here.
Oh yeah, Charlie, I forget you're there because you're not here. I don't know if you have initial thoughts about this, but does this raise, and I realize it's not their problem, but it raises a problem. Again, going to the whole issue of encroachment, if the
Well-
neighboring building got a variance.
I was thinking with the fact that, you said the applicant did not own the property in 2008.
Correct.
So did you look at your title search or your deed? Is this property line clearly within your purchase documents? It's covered by title insurance. Do you own it? Because that's the answer to your question.
No, it isn't the answer to my question. The
Why?
answer to my question is, if they own it, I'm assuming they do because they say they do. I'm
Okay.
assuming they check title. So assuming they own it, then the neighboring property, when they got their variance. So, and I'm making up numbers here just because I don't know how else to do without numbers. If the neighboring property was 10,000 square feet, the round number, had a lot area of 10,000 square feet, but in fact is 11,000 square feet because they have 1,000 square on this property, and they got a variance based on 10,000 square feet of lot area. Did they get a variance based on 10,000 square feet of lot area, or did they get a variance based on 11,000 square feet of lot area? And if they got it on 11,000, but they in fact only own 10,000, then did they get the right variance? And if they got so it seems to me that there's potential issues here, not necessarily for you. I realize that, but it's a question for Charlie and whether we need to do something. So,
Yeah,
So
Charlie.
we wouldn't know until we look at the building files and the record of the prior variance for the other property. It has nothing to do with this application, but because I've seen this situation before, what I'm assuming is their variance was their FAR variance and calculation was probably calculated based on the correct square footage of that lot, but that their construction in some manner messed up and built it over the property line. So I would imagine their variance is correct if it was, because it has nothing to do with the lot line, it just has to do with the square footage.
Right, yeah, okay. Anyway, irrelevant to you, I understand,
Yeah.
but just was a thought that it was occurring to me as we were. Okay, now going back, since they're over, did that raise a rear yard issue? And I can't remember. Oh, it's on the side yard.
It's
not
in the side yard,
yeah.
But actually, can
I'm
I
forgetting.
ask you with the minimum side yard setback combined on this chart that you gave us for variances that you're requesting? It says zoning requirement 20, proposed is 12. The variance is 18 feet.
It's a typo.
Yeah.
It has to be 8 feet.
It should be 8 feet, correct?
Right, 12 is requested.
Wait, 12? Yeah.
Variance is 8 feet. It's a
Not
typo.
18.
It's combined, correct, 8 feet.
8
yes.
feet.
And 8 feet, yes,
Okay.
it's a typo.
All right.
Apologies.
It's okay.
So, and then those side yard variances, the lesser and the combined that are requested, just as a reminder, those are solely for the queuing platform that the Harbor Coastal Commission and the Planning Board requested. Without them, without the queuing platform, we would not need side yard variances. Similarly, the total number of stories we comply in feet, but not in stories itself. That is a component of the technology that's proposed for the building, as well as the FAR, the dwelling units per lot area. You'll remember that we submitted some economics on that and the unit count in order to fund the fuel cell and the sustainable aspects of this proposed building. So really it's as you look at each one of these, it's clear, and I know I've been saying this for the last few months, it's the totality of the application and the circumstances. And we really believe that this is something that is for the benefit of the existing area and the surrounding neighborhood, not just for the applicant, but for the community as well, especially over existing conditions. And our client is here if there's any questions in that regard.
The open space, that's a big variance that you're asking for.
The 200 and, oh, correct.
That's a big
244
variance. Can you go back and explain that
Sure. So,
and why you think this is not a problem?
Yeah, I have this.
right, so that is a product of the number of units that we're proposing. So to start off, the lot is existing non-conforming, right? It's small to begin with. So we don't have the amount of lot area that those dimensional requirements are speaking to in the zoning code. In order for the applicants to construct this project and have it be economically feasible, this is the minimum number of units that they can build.
And you submitted an economic
we
feasibility
did.
study because I had asked about
Correct, yeah.
that.
So
So there's information.
So that's one part of it. The other part of it is from a practical standpoint. The property is directly across the street from the park, right? And it's almost across the street from the train station. So in terms of usable open space, there is plenty of useful open space. And we would also point to the adjacent condominium building that's built almost to the lot lines as well. And the lack of impacts that the open space on that property has had because it's also across.
That's just a tad more. But also, if you look at the plan, I realize that the ordinance only permits a certain amount of rooftop open space that's dedicated to that, but the reality is that we have almost 1,100 square feet of open space on the roof.
So your roof is going to be open space available for the use of the tenants or just
Yes.
open space because it's technically?
Up to the tenants, it's not public open
It
space,
can be
correct?
counted.
I understand the zoning code doesn't allow, but that's not, but my question is, you have a roof, which is a flat roof, I'm taking it if you've got open space up there,
Yeah.
and that roof is going to be accessible by the tenants?
Yes, it's a terrace, it's an open terrace, landscape terrace.
Oh, it's a landscape terrace, okay.
It's in addition to the upper roof, which is vegetative. So
And how many, and how big is your land, is the roof?
it's 1,094 square feet. But we only allow to count.
Yeah, but I'm not asking you what you're allowed to count, I'm just finding out.
Gotcha. So I guess the point is that there is some open space on the site.
Doesn't count. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, well, not a question, just a request that you provide us with the planning board's secret determination of no
We did.
negative impact.
Yeah, that was provided with our initial application.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, and that was filed in, the end of August.
Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
probably have it.
Our
here.
initial appearance was September 6th.
Okay.
You have anything, Brian?
No, I had asked many questions on the last one, and it was just these new, it was just the side lot. And then that typo that they had.
Angelique, do you have anything?
Not.
Okay, is there anybody from the public who wishes to, speak? Come on up to the microphone, please, and identify yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vinnie Calderola. I own, my property and the property they're building on. I'm landlocked. Their backyard is in my backyard.
You're landlocked, are
If
you
you
on
guys
a,
want more space, come talk.
when you say you're landlocked, aren't you on a street?
I own 635, 637, 639 Mamaroneck Avenue.
Oh, okay, you're the other side.
So they're right now, as the house stands, their backyard is into my backyard. There's a fence that the flood got rid of, so there's no space now. All right, my concern is the footprint of this building gonna be the same size? I don't know nothing about it. I know they're gonna have tanks in the ground, but they did that tank in the ground over there at 129 Noon Street, and they still got 8 feet of water. I mean, I'm concerned about this. Donna's over here, she owns if you're looking at the house, she owns the left side, the driveway, that's hers over there. And I've been through many floods here, I've owned the building for 30 years. And I don't care if they build, I'm glad they're building. But if it's gonna cause me more flooding than I already got. Well, from what they're saying it's not, but I've been a plumber for 40 years and I know how the tanks work, and you can't stop the flooding unless the village stops the flooding.
Can you address, sorry, I just, has addressed his question at the flooding issue.
Good evening, Michael Stein with Hudson Engineering, engineers working for the project. So there's two components that are happening on the property. First, we're actually increasing the flood storage volume that is present. The building that is going in will have flood vents. The first floor will be completely floodable. Water can flow in, water can flow out. All the finishes within the first floor are made to be closed down to be cleaned off easily. So while the building will flood, and we're not anticipating that we're never going to flood. It's anticipated that we will flood. So that's why we're taking so many measures to provide different safety precautions for that reason. So, but doing an analysis and doing the grading on the property, and Mr. Keller from Keller Sessions had also gone through a review of our flood analysis on the property. We've actually provided more flood storage volume just on the surface alone, not just at one elevation, but all the elevations that we replicated to the existing conditions. Then as far as the infiltration we're providing a Coltex system to treat all the runoff from the impervious surfaces. So we're providing stormwater mitigation from the water coming from this property, but we can't provide mitigation for the water all around coming down, flooding down through.
Well, I guess the
Well,
question
yeah.
is,
And
the
there's,
question is,
yes,
he owns a piece of property, she owns a piece of property next door.
yes.
Whatever you want to call next door, it's next door. How will your development affect flooding to the surrounding property?
Right,
That's the question.
and to be on
Not that
point,
the fact that you're wet proofing will be great for your property, but that doesn't answer the
will,
question.
will the new structure displace more floodwater onto their properties
No,
or not?
and actually, and as a matter of fact, if you look at the flood storage volume, actually, it was submitted with the planning board. I'm not sure if that was as part of this application. It was, okay. It had been submitted that it actually demonstrates that the total flood storage volume is increased at all the levels up to 2 feet above.
Okay, so let
So it will
me,
actually incrementally, very, very minutely and imperceptibly.
let me ask you
lower
another
the-
question, or let me ask you the same question differently. Because it's exactly what the neighbor asked. Is the footprint of this building, the foundation at ground level, bigger or smaller than the current structure which is there?
The footprint of the, on the first floor of the ground level.
Yeah, what I'm-
will
by-
actually be smaller,
Walls,
smaller than-
smaller,
yes.
okay,
And at the same time, this building is actually made to let the water in. So even with the footprint of these on the ground floor, that doesn't matter because it's completely made to be flooded 100%.
okay, so instead of having a structure there which displaces water to the neighbors, this entire property now can accept water. It'll displace less.
It'll displace less on this property.
Okay,
On his property,
On this property, on our application's property,
it'll
So-
have less of an impact on the drain
correct, so.
than what's there right now.
So the building itself, the footprint on the ground level, there's less square footage that is the foundation building than was currently there. At the same time, the water can flow inside of that, so it's not, you've actually added even more.
You get a lake.
Yes.
It's from that little pond.
Excuse me, let's not talk here. If you have something to say, please come up. I'm happy to have you say it, but just come on up and do it.
I don't know if you guys ever seen the flood, but if it really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You see it?
Yes.
Because it's 14 feet there.
I've been out through.
Well, they answered, but he showed me. They answered, the footprint is no different, so it's not gonna do nothing with the flood.
Except that we, as this gentleman just said, we're retaining.
Yeah.
Which today there isn't. There's no retention of stormwater on the site today.
I don't care what.
I know,
No
but-
retention in the flood water when it
Is
happens.
there, okay, I have a question for you. Is the forget the building itself, but is there more, is the same amount of impervious surface?
right, that's another way to ask it.
The label is paved. Is it the same amount of impervious surface on the site, or less or more impervious surface?
There's more impervious surfaces. However, we are treating all the runoff coming from there. Whereas currently, there is no control, there is no treatment that we're
Yeah,
running.
but
off.
treatment doesn't affect amount, it just might be
Yes, it
cleaner
does. It
water.
actually does, because
Why?
we have storage volume that we're providing just for treatment. We have infiltration that we're providing 4 feet underground that's percolating water into the ground below. So whereas you're dumping it out onto the surface, it's running down the road, it's running to the drainage system contributing, we're taking that water offline.
With tanks.
Yes,
Yeah, what I was with the tanks.
yes, they're going to build,
Yeah,
but
they're gonna fill and. When the flood, when
Right,
the flood
but-
comes, the major problem here is the flood.
So right now I have a 1,500 square foot building that's on the site that's high grade that gets flooded. We're taking that whole entire building, we're raising it 12 feet. And all we'll have on the first floor is 6 columns, a lobby and elevator. And then the rest of the place can flood, so what this man is doing here is we're going to allow for another 1,000 square feet of flooding on my site. The flood without, that we don't have right now.
Right, so
We're
let's
taking
go,
the entire building and we're taking it up in the air 12 feet. We got 6 columns. We got a lobby and we got a little vestibule.
Right, so there's less structure to displace the water
Way
onto
less
other
structure.
properties.
And then add on top of that, we're providing stormwater infiltration below, to provide treatment of both volume and water quality. So that's actually above and beyond the flood storage volume. That's not counted into the flood storage analysis that was done, demonstrating that we will we'll be actually increasing the flood storage volume on the property.
I understand that. But, you know, out of respect for the question that was asked by the public. When you're on top of an aquifer and the water's coming up from the flood storage.
Yeah.
That's not what they're just asking whether or not there's a structure there, the structure is gonna be bigger and whether or not it's gonna, you know. Displace more water onto theirs, and clearly
It's a
the
fair
answer
question.
is no.
Correct.
That's
But that's part of what I'm trying to explain is
Yeah.
that it's not just about the building footprint itself. It's also about the flood storage volume with the grading, with the elevations on the property.
Well, that's a
So-
positive.
Correct.
It is a positive, and
It's a
and my
positive.
name was that we spent 9 months before the planning board and with the village engineer working through these issues.
So wait a second, did you just say that? Are you regrading the property in such a way where water would be deflected away from their properties?
No, what we're doing is we have to do grading, to provide positive pitch in the parking area. So we have to pitch that to drainage inlets. or
Okay,
trench
so-
drain. So, but we're making sure that whatever elevations and grades are there are replicated and providing more storage in the soil.
The rest of the site, so you have a building on the site. And then you have some open area on the site, not a whole lot because it's a site. And is that paved open area? Is it grassy open area? What is the open area? I just don't remember what.
So I also apologize for identifying myself earlier, John Sullivan. But yeah, the site currently obviously has a residential structure on it, has a detached garage or storage building on it. And approximately 2/3 of the site is paved, and 1/3 of it is grass or.
And what are you doing?
What are we doing? Well,
That's the existing. How much of the site is going to be grass when you finish this
Very
building?
little of the site is grass. You guys have the site plan that you can put up there real quick that we could point to that?
Yeah, I can find it.
But if, the building is. The building is elevated, as we've stated. Okay, so it's part of the site, majority of the site is covered by the structure that's elevated. And then there's on grade parking, there's no subsurface, there's not a basement, there's no subsurface parking. Parking right on the site. You can see on the plan on the left. Parking spaces where they're designated. There's a bit of a grass area to the rear of the property, like islands, if you would. And you can see the footprint of the building. It's this long sliver of a structure which just has these stairs, elevators, and a lobby. And the dotted line represents the footprint of above.
Okay, the parking spaces, the paved parking areas that are not. Did you consider, and maybe it doesn't work with the way you do it, pervious instead of impervious, and maybe that doesn't work with the way with the whole system of flood proofing and wet flood proofing that you're doing, but I'm asking, does it or doesn't it? Did you consider pervious surface for that? And if not, why not? And if it can't be done because of what you're doing, then that's fine, but I just want to understand whether you considered it and why.
We could do that. There certainly could be permeable pavers on site. I'll let Michael address that. What's not shown on this plan, of course, is the subsurface
Yeah,
engineering.
That's why I was asking about maybe it can't be done because of what you're doing subsurface, so I don't know.
Part of- Again, we're putting in an infiltration system underneath. The field testing that we did where we encountered groundwater and lead, it was groundwater, I believe it was about 7 feet down. So that's why the elevations of we use a specific control tech units that are 2 foot high as opposed to 3 foot high. So that would really be performing the same job as trying to infiltrate the water. However, with the system that we're putting in through a water quality device that would actually take the water that is collected. It would put it through a mechanical separator where it would actually provide a cleaning to the water before it's infiltrated. And that will remove floatables that were stand or silt. So whereas permeable pavement would require a tremendous amount of maintenance, trying to do that maintenance underneath the building would be much more difficult because the equipment you need to get to basically vacuum it out. You're trying to work between columns, so it's just not going to be as effective.
Does the current building have a basement?
Yes.
You said there's some kind of a shed currently on the property?
It's just a makeshift shed, and like, it's really not exact, it's
It's
something
a-
by Home Depot.
and it won't be there in the future.
Oh, no.
I've got one more question about that.
Yes, please
Um,
come up.
I understand that the water goes into the tanks, then it slowly disperses. But when we get flooded, you guys know how bad we get flooded. Now, I got a basement. Okay, so when that water drains into the basement, Donna has a basement, no, fills over. When that water slowly drains into, what's preventing that from not going to my building? Into the basement? You know what I'm saying? I understand the tanks are in there.
Right.
Okay, and they disperse slowly, but where's it gonna disperse to?
That's an excellent question. Where's it gonna disperse to?
Wherever the water,
Let the-
what it.
It's gonna go to the point of least resistance.
Part of what, again, part of what we do before we do any design work, is what we're doing percolation testing to see how quickly the soil absorbs the water. That's done at a depth of where the stormwater system will be installed. And we also do the deep hole test to determine what level we're encountering groundwater. And so based upon the rates we saw, we observed a percolation rate of 30 inches per hour, which is basically sand. The water we're seeing is moving through the soil very quickly. And also based upon the deep hole testing we saw, that extends down considerably, that extends down at least at the groundwater table. At the same time, we're following what DEC practices are. We're keeping 10 feet minimum away from the rear property line. So it's not right up against the property line. The stormwater system is stepped back away from the property line. Per their recommendations.
Way that they're getting rid of it.
It's most of it is. If you look at the wall, there's 4 5 steps up to the front. So there's 5 steps up to the front of the house, and there's 3 feet of the basement in the ground. And we're taking the entire property and taking it up in the air, and we're giving you 1,000 square feet for more storage of water on ground level than what we have to this.
Is which property is higher? Yours or there or his?
All right, did you do it, well, let me ask you, did you do a SWIP?
What was the question? I didn't hear.
Oh, which property, does his property, does their property slope down to yours, or does
Yeah,
your
it's just
property slope down to
to
yours?
mine.
That's the question. So. I'm sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Well, no, the question is, in order to do a project like this, and they've been through, the other various boards, they had to do a stormwater protection plan, a SWIP.
Correct.
And a SWIP really has the answers you're looking for. And what you just asked in terms of the topography and where water is going to flow, because they're not allowed they are not allowed to develop a project which could impact your property negatively. Well, but that's what the SWIP says, so can somebody perhaps,
We actually had submitted a stormwater prevention plan, with the planning board application, I'm sure it's submitted as part of this.
Was it
application.
submitted here? I don't recall seeing it, but
And that's.
which I already got a copy.
I don't think I saw it either.
Comments, for all their comments.
And that was with the planning board.
Planning board and.
Have you finished your Harbor Coastal review? Or is that still,
That's, we did an initial review with them as part of the secret consult. We have to go back. Harbor Coastal, we
Not in
told
here.
has to come after we get area variances.
I don't see the SWIP in here. Now I could be missing it, but I
It's
don't.
on the plans right there. It's up there. It was submitted the first round and the negative declaration is in the packets. And this was all stuff that came in previously in August.
Yeah, no, I have the package that they submitted and I see the negative deck and I see the secret findings. But I don't see
I
the.
believe this one was submitted on August.
It was
6th.
prior. Yeah, it was in August. This stuff is all uploaded from August. It was the first round of packages that we
I
received.
understand that, Brittany. What I'm saying is I'm looking at what I've got, what we got, and I just don't see it. It says SWIP required.
Yeah.
But, somewhere, but I didn't actually see the SWIP. And it isn't just if Brian wants to see it and we don't
no,
have it.
it's not that I want to see it.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that that's what the neighbors are asking for. Because the SWIP is, well, perhaps council can explain to the neighbors.
I'm happy to provide a copy of the SWIP for you, and I'll also put you in touch with Michael Stein, who's the civil engineer for the project, because it might be helpful to go out to the site, maybe you walk it and have them explain to you, so you can understand and ask questions on stormwater flow, proposed retention, and how it works. The village has a consulting engineer that reviewed this project from an unbiased approach for 9 months and made a lot of modifications, to be fair, during that. And the project that you're seeing is the result of several variations.
Anything else? Anybody else from the public wish to speak? Do you want to speak? Just come up and identify yourself.
I'm just, 60%. Driveway goes all the way to the end. I just want to tell you, that I've been through all these floods. And everything comes, all the water comes from the brook. And we are all pumping everything out. So I don't, there's disbursement of this water, it's just gonna flow out. It's just gonna hit the bottom of our basements, and we're gonna be pumping them out. I don't see any way this is gonna.
See, when the water comes out the bottom, they say how far down these tanks gonna be. You can only go down, they said 7 feet. Well, if you go into my basement is 7 feet down from the ground.
And the water bubbles right up from the basement, so from the basement, so right through the cement, just bubbles right up. I mean, it's a really big problem there. And when one building has a lot of water, it goes down to the other building, then it goes on to the other basement. It's just like an incline. I know, because my son and I pumped it out, Billy's been there, we've been pumping out, and it takes 2 or 3 days to pump out water. It's a big mess. And that whole area, that whole block is affected. We shovel sewage. I just don't know how, you're talking about sewage coming right out of the grids of everything. Rats, sewage rats, big as that.
And I absolutely understand and agree, but that is a problem coming from the creek overflowing. Is with the improvements that we're doing is actually going to be improving the condition by allowing the additional storage by incrementally that would be imperceptible, but it's still an improvement over existing conditions for what is on the site.
I don't see this working.
And if this application doesn't get approved, I'm gonna go back and put 7 people in harm's way. I'm gonna finish the first floor again. I'm gonna redo the first floor.
Yes, please come speak to the microphone,
Sorry,
please, or either one. Yeah, either one.
Yeah, so if this application doesn't get approved, I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna fix up the first floor. Next time the flood comes, we're gonna have the same situation. I'm actually improving the situation we have right now. I'm taking an entire building, we got 6 columns, and we got maybe 500 square feet on ground floor. Right now, I got 1,500 square feet on the ground floor. So what we're talking about here is the volume. So the volume, I'm gonna give 1,000 people, 1,000 square feet on just ground square feet, maybe 5 feet high, whatever height it is. So you can multiply 1,000 by 5. So it's 5,000 square feet. More water be able to come into the area that I'm not going to affect right now. Right? But I'm taking my entire building, I'm putting it up in the air. And I'm making the situation better. So. And we're spending a lot of money on renewal up here, so it'll be the first building probably in the United States.
And similarly, eliminating a basement that shouldn't have been there. And that there will no longer be a basement space that would potentially be flooded.
And I'm gonna put 7 people in harm's way, like I had the last time. So I'm gonna go in and fix up the first floor. I'm gonna put boilers in the basement, the whole thing is gonna get flooded again, people are gonna be in harm's way. Under the situation.
So what, go ahead, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think the point is that this project is a significant improvement compared to what exists today on site. And as you heard, there have been really unprecedented efforts on the applicant's part to ensure that this not only complies with the current FEMA requirements and floodplain requirements, but far exceeds those requirements. And that was something that the planning board and Harvard Coastal on their initial review demanded of us, understandably so. You know, the applicants own this property, right? They want to protect their investment too. They're not interested in having a significant, contributing significantly to the flooding outcomes on their property and in the surrounding area. Yeah, and obviously it is a sustainable building that hopefully will influence development in this floodplain area to prevent just the restoration of non-conforming, non-FEMA compliant buildings with basements from just being renovated over and over again, right? As opposed to improving and making a flood resilient community.
What do you want to do? Okay, board
I want
members,
to-
what do we
Listen,
need?
I think we understand what the concerns are. We have the information that we need. You said that you'd be willing to share the SWIP with the neighbors,
Give them an
maybe
assessment.
even do a site visit with them. And you could leave it open to see if they want to come back and voice additional concerns or
We
not.
still have to appear back before the planning board and Herbert Coastal, so if there are additional concerns, they would get worked out from stormwater design aspect in that process. They wouldn't impact the variances, and this is not the final approval for this
Yeah,
project.
that's what everyone else.
Right.
Well, that's the question. Is there anything else we need? Anything else you want? Anything else? No? Okay, then we will adjourn this on the same basis that we adjourn the other thing. I don't think we need anything. At the next meeting, we'll open it to the public again because it is a public hearing. But unless someone has questions, you do not need to make a new presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is application 22 AV 22, which is 350 Ward Avenue.
Even Anthony Tyrone on behalf of the applicant, Chris and Danielle Ward for 350 Ward Avenue. Hopefully we will be free for the entire application. This, we were last before you on November 3rd. At that time, there were 4 issues that we were addressing. 2 of those, I believe, have been resolved based upon the last hearing and as a result of the 1115 letter from the assistant village manager addressing the last 2 remaining issues. And those 2 remaining issues would be parking and lot line within 45 feet boundary of the residential district. Is there a preference which one I deal with first?
Whichever you want.
So
Wait, just before you begin. Was there a question about a front yard setback? As well,
I don't see it.
I had some kind of thing in my,
There was a question about, no, there was a side yard.
you're not changing anything, correct?
No, correct. The
And there was an issue about the line of the zoning district, right? That was. the
No, but
question.
that we got.
Yeah.
that we resolved by being the median of the
Right,
river.
Right, but just
So
trying to
the-
look at my notes.
Go ahead, I'm
The
sorry.
front yard setbacks are not changing. If you recall, this just deals with addressing the addition on top of the existing building. So the footprint stays the same. The setbacks in the front and back stay the same. The real question was, the major question was, because this is a R2, and this is a C2 district, whether there was an issue of construction within 45 feet. So the commentary or the notation seemed to indicate there could be an interpretation from that. Brittany sent an email or a letter on 11/4 and
The question is whether the construction of this project in the C2 would require a 45-foot setback from the R2. What's unique about this project is that adjacent to the house, there is a river, which on the inside of the walls, it's approximately 50 to 65 feet wide. And then adjacent to that, there's a park. And the park is the next property over on the next property over towards the C2, I mean, to the R2. So the interpretation would be whether the spirit of keeping the distance, which is very logical between a C2 and an R2, which you would want as a buffer between an industrial and a residential district, would apply here. I would take the position, the applicant would propose the position that because this is residential to residential, and although it's residential in the C2, and you already have at a minimum 110 or at a maximum 125 feet distance by virtue of the park and the river that separates those two things. So the question is, is the interpretation of 342 attachment 3 note 1 require then a 45-foot setback, and in which case the variance would be for the side yard setbacks and the rear yard setbacks of the property that are adjacent to the river, which can't be accomplished without a variance. So that's one issue to look at. I would take the interpretation in consideration of the objective of the 45-foot setback, that it is to separate residential and commercial if there is a true commercial use from a true residential use. In this case, we're going residential, and at a minimum it's 110, at a maximum about 125 distance between those two areas. So the objective is accomplished, and the purpose or the interpretation of the statute would be accomplished without a variance.
So I said that in that case, we'd have to make an interpretation that it doesn't apply to this for the reasons that you just decided.
Precisely, right.
Oh,
Yeah, because if the code says X, we can't just say, well, we're not going to apply it here. It either does or doesn't apply here, or we determine that it doesn't apply here. We could do any of them, but we have to make a decision about that.
Right.
I thought that we would then, that's why they're asking for a variance to,
But they're not asking for a variance from that,
from the 45?
right?
Well, that's actually what I was going to ask. I don't see, if in fact they're asking for a variance, I don't see what size variance.
Well, the proposed is 3.58, which would be the side yard setback versus the 45. So
You are already asking for it.
it's listed in the application, but it also came out as a question of interpretation.
Right,
It's
right.
I get it, but it's not 3.58. 3.58 is not from, it's proposed from the physical boundaries of the property, but not from the middle of the river. I thought we said the middle of the river is where the 45 foot.
Which would determine, right, 45 foot is the split between the R2 and the C2, right?
Right,
So proposed at the present time is 3.58 provided. So the variance would be substantially more than that.
Wait a minute,
Yes,
your property, the property line of your property ends 3.5 feet away from you. Where does your property line end?
it would be 3.5 setback from the wall.
And that's your property line,
right,
Goes into the river slightly.
right, that's.
but it's
the-
essentially 3.58 feet, more or less. It doesn't 4 feet, I don't care.
Right,
Okay.
Right.
But the question is,
But
it's
you're
45
not
feet from the
required-
middle of the
No,
river.
but that's irrelevant also.
Okay.
It's not their property. A yard is a measurement on your property. You are not required to provide a yard on a neighboring property
Right.
at all. So I think it's a non-question. I don't think there's any issue here. The 45 feet is an irrelevancy because you can't provide 45 feet because you don't have 45 feet on your property.
Correct.
Now, the question is, your property is how many feet from the middle of the river?
That was my question.
If you took the inside of the
river walls, we measured them at 50 and the outside at 60.
Right, so you're
So let's
50
just say-
feet, so it's more than 45.
So it would be
It's not your
20
property anyway, so no portion of your property,
Let's say 25 feet from the middle of the river.
so 25 feet from the middle of the river. So,
You couldn't accomplish it anyway.
so, right, but that's not what I'm saying. So if your property is 25 feet from the middle of the river, although it looks like a lot more, but okay, I'll take your word for it. If your property is 25 feet from the middle of the river and you're supposed to be 45 feet from the middle of the river, then arguably your variance wouldn't be 45 feet, your variance would be so 45 minus 25 is 20. So you would need a 20-foot side yard. You're providing 3.58, so you need a 17-foot variance.
Except that he doesn't own the distance between the
It
middle of the river.
It doesn't, I understand that, but that's not the issue. The issue is, is the way it's not written, and I don't have the code in front of me. If the way it's written means that every property within 50 feet, 45 feet of the line has to provide, which means you can't build within 45 feet. Do you have the code language there, Greta?
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I think the objective
Let's
is
just read the language and see exactly
admirable,
what it says.
but the practical application.
Right, but that may just mean an interpretation. Doesn't mean this is a
Hey, you
problem.
wanna, you'll find it.
Will I, do you know what section number it is?
345, I'm sorry, 342. Attachment 3, note 1.
So, where a lot line coincides with or within 45 feet of the boundary of a residence district, the required yard, oh yes, it's very bad language. So the way it reads, it arguably says that if you're within 45 feet, you need a 45-foot yard anyway. That makes no sense. Okay.
The property, first of all, the property is irregular. And according to your survey, your lot, part of the property, the front of the property is all the way out into the river, right? This is the buildable plan. It's all pre-existing non-conforming. They're not changing the first floor of this building. What they're doing is they're adding usable square footage above.
Right.
But
Therefore, they're increasing the degree of non-conformance of the building, and we've always taken the
Okay.
position that when they do that, they need to comply with the variances applicable to that floor. So I think the simplest thing is to make an interpretation. That's my recommendation, that we make an interpretation that it doesn't apply because it is a river and a park, and therefore it doesn't apply.
well,
Or we can decide to give a variance.
Well, the problem with giving a variance is the 17-foot variance, which is a big variance, and if we, well, we could do one or the other.
Yeah, but we can try to justify it, given the
Yeah, yeah.
unique.
the thing here is that we're going to deliberate on that. When it comes. You are specifically asking for an interpretation, not a variance.
I think in light of the circumstances here, because of the lack of property, the adjacent river and the adjacent park, that the accomplishment of the statutory language to separate C2 from R2 is accomplished. And then when you add into that you're really going from R2 to R1, since it's single family, it's moreover accomplished that the spirit of what was trying to be set forth in the language to keep commercial and residential away from each other is accomplished by both methods. I think that the variance being so substantial might be hard to come by, but the interpretation is accomplished in the statutory language.
The concern about doing an interpretation is just wondering how that interpretation will impact other areas.
Right, and that's, so, right, I don't know, do you, is there a reason that you care?
No, not really. I think just reading the statutory language in the spirit of the objective, the interpretation might be easier to arrive at, but that's certainly for your discussion.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that one out.
Hold on a second. What are we interpreting here?
We would interpret that the requirement of the 50-foot distance.
Yeah,
Since
between C1 and C2.
the C1 and C2 and R2. In this case, because it's the middle line of a river, that there's really a lot more than 50 feet, that there's more provided from the actual buildable floor.
And that's,
Otherwise, we need to, I don't know.
that's
It's-
better than just putting in a variance?
I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying that's one way to do it. We'll have to figure out, but might be, given that the board members may be, it may be issued because of the concern about,
I understand.
it may be simpler for you just to file an amendment to your application to include an application for variance for this.
That's exactly, as we also, you know, Dave isn't here, he's got vast knowledge as well. What we're trying to get from you is what is it that you need in order to get this done? So you've asked for an interpretation.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see, also a request for a variance in case we can't reach an interpretation for some technical reason that I don't have enough experience at the moment to come up with.
Understood.
Actually, Charlie, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
So Charlie, in this issue, what's your counsel on this in terms of just getting a variance from the current zoning regulations for what they want to do, or some type of an interpretation that it doesn't apply to them, or what are your
Well,
thoughts?
I think it is, one thing the board might want to consider is precedent in any interpretation that you make. How this might affect other properties in the village where this provision might be helpful. An area variance, while seemingly large here, area variance is a balancing test. So you'd be able to justify an area variance, you know, through impact to the neighborhood, for example, as opposed to substantiality. So you have some more flexibility with an area variance without setting strict precedent for yourself. So you might want to consider that.
Yeah, so we've asked you to already, I've asked you to
Amend that.
provide.
Fine.
An
And that's
amendment
okay.
to
I
include
tend to review the area variance.
Okay.
Relevant land use variance and interpretation may be slightly different.
Okay,
That's
so,
fine.
so,
We'll leave that one alone for now.
so you need the variance for the parking, the
So the-
variance for this.
Parking comes into this. So I look back at this application, last time we spoke about parking for 350. The application deals with 350. It doesn't deal with 352. 352 is not being changed. In this use, they're adding a second floor, 2 bedrooms. So based upon the code, it would require for 350, a total of 2 parking spaces. There are currently 4 parking spaces on site. The question came up last time of whether 352, which is the adjacent building, I believe the same tax lot. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah, it says like 350-352.
That has 3 units. So if you took just this application on its face, there is no parking variance required. There are 4 there, 2 in the garage, 2 in the driveway, and it requires a total of 2.
But the 4 that are there service both buildings.
No.
No,
No, there's 6 that are there, correct?
You can use 6 in the driveway, 2 in the garage and 2 in the driveway.
yes, but it looked like there are 4
Maneuverability.
parking spaces.
Right.
There's only 4 parking
Maneuverability for a
spaces.
parking space is not allowed to, but
Right,
there
so-
are 6 there. in
But,
reality.
but my question is, there are, leaving aside the 2 in the driveway, because there's a whole lot of people who go with that,
Yes.
going for the 4. Who, under either your lease, your condominium documents, I recall it was a condo.
350 uses the driveway. It's all attached to that house.
You have this was a condo, if I recall.
No.
Oh, no. It's just a lease, sorry, I'm mixing.
No, it's regular, right?
You
No,
own the,
he-
so you own the house.
Yes.
Who owns the driveway?
I own I own the whole property, but the house and the driveway are attached to 350.
So then why, then you don't need a variance. 'cause those
No,
are parking-
Hold on.
You own 352.
You own 352 where you rent that out to people.
Yes.
Are they entitled to a parking space in their
No.
lease? No. Now, was this, and did you have to come before any board for a variance for that
That
to
was an
become?
arrangement that the properties from late 1800s.
So,
Inherited that.
okay, so what there, so clearly what you're saying is that you, for this property, have the appropriate parking, and for the rental property, or the portion which is rented to others, that's pre-existing non-conforming.
Yeah, and
and they have the parking permits to the village. They purchased them, they're there. So really just taking this application on its face, there is no variance required for
I
parking.
think that's right. They have a pre-existing non.
But do you lose it by doing this work, this
No,
renovation?
this work is,
No, they have 4 parking spaces. Forget the 2 in the driveway. They have 4 parking spaces now. When they're done, they will have,
4 parking spaces.
no. When you're done with the construction, you will need how many parking spaces?
2.
2, so they don't lose anything.
I think we,
This is the, they have a small child. Charlie. And they need space. And they're-
Wait. No, but I think, Greta, you're raising the question is. This, and I don't know how the village considers this, but the property which is 2 buildings, because it's the same tax lot, therefore it really is the same property. Whether or not you have 2 buildings on a single lot is what you have, right? So you have 3 units.
It may simplify to think of that the electric for the garage is attached to the house.
No, that's not the relevant, actually. I realize what the thing is. You have a single tax lot. No, that's not. They have 3, you have 1 tax lot. Therefore, from a zoning perspective, that is your property. So on your property, you have 3 units or 4 units?
Yeah.
On the property, not on your
Collective
building.
Property.
Yes.
4 units.
It's for, you have 4 units on your property. 4 units with how many bedrooms?
Hold on a second.
You do need a variance.
Well, I mean, that's.
we
well,
had decided
So
to
if
last
you
week.
break this out,
Right.
remember, it's 1 per unit, 1 parking space.
Yeah, right,
per
so how
unit,
many?
And then a half per
Right.
bedroom after the first.
So how many? I don't know how
And
many.
the break that we did last time came out to 6.5.
Right, so you need 6.5. So right now you have 6. So the 6 is a pre-existing non-conforming. Since you're adding more bedrooms, you do need a variance for the parking.
Okay, is the variance for 1, or is the variance for,
It's a variance for the new space. So each new, you have 2 new bedrooms, that's a half unit for each. You need a variance for 1 space.
but the. Okay, so
But you have to round up, 6.5 is 7.
6.5 is 7.
Well, that's where
But
they
that's
get
what
the
they
one
have.
space.
That's
Oh,
what they
that's how
have
you get the one
existing. It
space,
doesn't
okay.
matter. Whatever's there, it's existing. So they have 6.5.
Yep.
They're going to have, they're adding an
Yep.
additional 2 bedrooms, which requires 1 parking space, so they need a variance for 1
Right,
parking
and
space.
that's what's coming from the building department.
And that's right, but that doesn't always, but that's not always right, just this kind of building department doesn't.
Right.
it's
So
always right.
No,
There's a-
but I'm
there's a
just
couple
saying
different
clearly
ways
that's
to-
what they want.
To.
Yeah.
Cut this or look at this, but certainly one variance for 1 parking space would be palatable, and that would meet the entire envelope of requirements.
Well, that's what you need, 1 bedroom, right, so I think that's right. Now, you had indicated here ZBA variance required for increased volume of encroachment. That's the side yard requirement that was a little confused
Yeah,
on
I
exactly.
didn't see where the increased volume of encroachment came from, because it doesn't change the footprint.
Right.
It remains the same,
It's
nothing
a side
changes
yard,
there.
it's a side yard.
Yeah, so I don't see that, which goes back to our first conversation of the 45.
So it's already questioned there, it's just badly written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, just going back, because I remember and I made a note. You said something about getting, there's. You could purchase a spot on the street,
Purchase a permit,
you could purchase a permit,
yes,
a parking permit.
yes.
So I mean, that's also something that could be
Okay,
conditional renters.
yeah, we could require them to do that. The code actually requires
Which
it.
they do.
It also may be worth noting that, like, I don't purchase permits and I hold. I'm Chris Graves, I own the property. It may be worth noting that I say I own that property, I'm entitled to those permits, and I don't use them. Those spots.
I guess it's something we should consider whether we want to grant the variance or require them to buy the parking permit.
Well, they do buy the parking.
Well, I think
permits.
what he's saying is that he does buy it. Is that
Yeah, like, the burden
mandatory
of
that
my
you buy it?
parking is considered, would be thought to be in the street, but it's not, it's in my driveway. You know, so I'm entitled to those spots by living there, those permits, but I don't use that I don't put that burden into.
Do you buy the permits?
I do not. No, I use my driveway.
No. So the code provides that you can get those permits.
Yes, I'm entitled.
And you don't have to buy them. So the question is, we could say to him, instead of a
That's what I
variance,
have.
we make them buy the permit.
No, it's part of the variance.
We don't have to give them, we would basically, it's not a variance, that's a requirement, so we have to,
Can you make it a conditional variance based upon purchasing the permit?
right, but then there's no variance for the parking spaces because it's in the, well, we have to figure it out, but yeah, maybe we
Because
do.
you have
Yeah.
to, because it means that.
We'll have to
you
look
can-
at the code and see how it's worded.
Right, so
Yeah.
that's something we'll deliberate on.
Yeah.
But you could add that as a condition.
Yeah.
Right,
That's.
we would have to consider that, okay,
It's nominal, it's $10 a year, the tenants do it, so it's certainly an available option to mitigate the impact of the one parking space with variance.
And also, I don't want to open up a can of worms. So just take this for what it is. Utilizing your driveway as parking spaces. I don't know that that's necessarily something which is consistent with a parking space, because then what you're doing is you're blocking up the whole thing. There's safety issues, there's egress issues. There's a lot of issues with that. So I don't want to come out too strongly and say, well, my driveway exists as just parking spaces. And I think we can leave that as that. But we see what you're asking for, so that's enough.
And to that note, this, and I agree with you, that this particular drive is wide enough. So then they can get in there, so that's.
it's an
Not when he,
irrelevancy whether you have
not
four
when he,
parking
not when he has
spaces.
his truck there.
Whether you have 4 parking spaces or 6 parking
Yeah, you
spaces,
do.
you have existing.
Yeah.
That's a different question, whether or not the village has a problem with it.
Right, that not
Not a problem.
our concern, but I wouldn't scream it. Okay.
Okay, so if you would just amend your application, now, I'm not assuming, well, it's got to be continued to next week too, but are you gonna be able to amend your application between now and next week?
Yeah, can you?
My guess is not.
I don't know, I will, my office is closed tomorrow, and or this Sunday.
Okay, well, the bottom line is it has to be continued anyway, because it has to be continued. Brittany, can you do
Yes.
that?
If
Well,
you
we-
get it to me, I can post it. I don't mind. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be a lot, correct? Changing the site plan a little bit and adjusting your request in the application?
Need it like at least a day before, 2 days before, when do you need it? Will you-
We're closed Monday, so if you could get it to me by the 3rd or the 4th, that would be better. The day of is a little bit tight,
Yes,
but
it has to be the day before Wednesday.
So I just want to make sure we're amending the application to specify
A variance.
variance on the footage,
Right, to give that as an oath, right?
the footage between the middle of the river and the house.
Exactly.
Okay. I will try to get it to Brittany.
Okay, and if not, it'll just be the next one, which is until February, which is why we were trying to get everybody as much as possible.
I'll try to get it for my.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, so that's adjourned. And the last public hearing is 23 AV 22 412 Monroe Avenue.
Good evening, my name is Peter Catadell of Catadell Engineering. I have also Diana Gomez from my office here as well. So we're here our second time with just a couple modifications to the plan or clarifications. The one was to add dimensions from the rear property line to our proposed wall. I think that was the only major clarification that was asked for.
Well, we also, I think we asked for whether or not you needed a setback from the side yard because you were going to build a wall over on the side of that area as well.
Right, and I think when
the
we,
determination letter was revised.
Yes, I see it.
For the sidewalk, so I was fortunate enough to meet this morning with Mr. Lassenstein on the site. I hope I didn't butcher your name too bad.
It really doesn't matter. I was there, I admit it.
Okay, so, and I think that was helpful and it hopefully, identifying what the project's gonna be and really how minimal this, this modification to the site is. And also in the sense of the trees that are there that we're saving, that we're building walls around. Rather than taking those down, we are only taking down one tree. We are replacing that tree with a replacement tree. Native species, in accordance with the village standards. The site is all sides of us of the impacted project zone have existing retaining walls on the property. So I don't think our wall would be encroaching any closer than the existing walls, which are at 0 feet from the property.
I have no, I walked over there, and looked at it.
Oh, you looked at it too?
I just walked over one day, a couple of, like, last month I did, and it was still not quite. Does anybody, do you have any more questions? Because I have none.
No, I have a very good handle on how everything is laid out, what they need, what they don't need. At this point, I don't have any questions because we spent a half hour walking the site this morning.
To me, this seemed almost like a code, something that the code requires without making any significant changes, or the facts on the ground actually are not.
Well, the variance is the increase in building coverage.
Right,
Yeah.
which is,
Which includes
Which
the-
is,
yeah,
yeah,
a little.
which is valid. So the increase in building coverage, because you're actually putting a retaining
Right.
wall on, that's just a variance that they need.
Right.
Which will deliberate as to, the balancing test. When it comes to the setbacks, I have a better handle on the property because all these walls are there for elevation, because of
Yeah.
elevations, they're terraced.
Yeah.
Everything is terraced. So the wall in back of the property is only, when you're on the property, about maybe 2 feet high. But from the neighbor's property,
It's a big drop.
it's 7 feet.
Yeah, it's a big drop.
But these retaining walls continue around. Some are theirs and some are the neighbors.
We looked at this last time as to which were yours and which
Right,
were not.
so when, and they didn't quite have, at that point in time, a full handle of where I think the sidewalls are, and now I do, so I don't have any questions, and when it comes to deliberating, I can tell you exactly
Yeah, it was not,
the layout.
yeah, as I said, I walked over when I just walked over. I didn't, do you have any questions?
No.
Anybody in the audience, the public, wish to speak to this application? Okay, no, then we again are not closing it because it has to be adjourned, but I don't think there's any. So it will be opened at the next meeting. I don't anticipate anything.
Need to present.
Right,
So we'll see you at the next meeting, but we may not say anything.
right.
Thank you.
That's my goal. That's my hope, but who knows?
Have a
Okay.
good night.
The next item on the agenda is 15/8/2018, the FEI, consideration of the FEIS for 416 Waverly Avenue. Ashley, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
You can.
So as you know, this application has been pending before the Zoning Board of Appeals for quite some time. Where we last left off, the applicant had submitted a draft FEIS, which we had reviewed and provide comments on. They did submit a revision based on those comments. We have then since taken over the Word documents and gone through them all and provided additional edits to the ZBA, which we provided last week. The bulk of the edits that we provided were clarifications and consistency changes. We did ask a bunch of follow-up questions to the applicant's team, asking for some additional revisions to the various appendices, just to make sure that the information that was presented in the FEIS was matching the documents in the appendices that were supporting the conclusions presented in the FEIS. We did receive the last batch of revisions earlier this week, and those were some edits to the SWIP. There was a diagram that the board had requested. It shows an elevation of the building and where the IDA flood levels were approximately, as well as where the actual floodplain is. So that has now been provided, as well as some other clarification updates. So where we are is at this point, we do feel that all of the comments that AKRF has had on the document have been addressed. We've provided the documents to the ZBA, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have or make any additional revisions that you see fit.
Okay, I have just a procedural question. Can you please just explain the remaining process in the FEIS process, the remaining steps in the FEIS process?
Yes, so where we are is the FEIS is the lead agency's document. So the ZBA as the lead agency must agree with everything that's presented and how it's concluded in the FEIS. Once you're satisfied that all the revisions have been made so that the document reflects your views and accurately represents your conclusions, then you can accept the FEIS as complete. Then there's a 10-day waiting period between when the FEIS is accepted as complete and when the ZBA can adopt its finding statement. Once you adopt the finding statement, that then ends the seeker process, and then the ZBA can move forward on acting on the variances.
Okay, so, board members. Let's go through this. If we have questions, we will let you know.
Record Kristen Motel here for the applicant, and our full team is here too if you do have questions.
Okay, so board members, let's go through it. You want to go page by page or not page by page? The footnotes before I have what comments you gave at the your amended, your edited comments, Ashley.
Yes.
Just a question, there are comments in purple and comments in blue.
Can we ask,
what was
Brittany to
what?
put it up?
Yeah, Brittany, can you put it up here? And Ashley, there were comments in purple and comments in blue. Who was what, or what was the difference in colors of I was confusing to me.
Okay, so we provided everything back in Word as opposed to saving it as a PDF. So depending on your Word, it will sometimes open up in different colors for different people.
Okay.
If you have
to yours, that's all my question. All of those edits to this are yours.
Most of the edits, we did work off of a red line version that was prepared by the applicant. So some of the edits were done by Pat Cleary, the applicant's planner. So there were a couple different AKRF staff members working on it, and Gwen is an AKRF staffer.
Okay, and the footnotes were added by you or the applicant?
In this case, in that the footnote added to page 1-2 was added by AKRF.
But there's a bunch of footnotes through all the pages.
Yes, we did add some of the footnotes.
Okay.
I have to hover over them to see which ones we added. It looks like most of the footnotes added in chapter in the introduction were added by AKRF.
Okay.
What exactly am I bringing up? Because I don't have all of this on Novus. It's too large. So we had a lot of documents put on the main website because Novus can't handle that. So what am I pulling up exactly?
I can share my screen if that's
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, that'd be better.
So are we starting with the introduction?
Yes, we're starting with page 1.
Page 1.
Or the closest to page 1.
Yeah.
1-1, that's the page.
Okay, so as you can see, when I open it up in my Word, it's green. But
Yeah, it was just that there were 2 different colors, and that's where I was confused. I didn't know whose I was.
Yeah, mine went on night mode, so now I've got Christmas colors. I've got red and green.
So in this version, so you can see the purple color is Pat Cleary's, and then the green is AKRF. So I can start on page 1. There's no edits.
Right, I see.
Okay, I have a question, Ashley. It doesn't
Yes.
say, it says, in response to comments received concerning the draft, the DEIS, do we need a date of the DEIS or that's not? Shouldn't we have a date there, just a form, you know, the DEIS with a date?
There were so many.
I know, that's why I don't know if there is.
Well,
a
it
date.
should be, if we're going to put a date, it should be the date that it was accepted.
Right.
The last.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, can we just add that, please? The date,
The final draft.
yeah, the final one. The one that we accepted that told them to go and get the FEIS. Not a big deal, but it just,
Or you know what,
Because there's so
instead
many
of,
drafts, it was
instead
confusing.
of saying the date, you could just say accepted drafts.
we could do that too. I don't care, it's just that because there were so many drafts, somebody reading this won't know what it was.
Right. I can insert the date. I'll look it up after this call.
Fine, okay, anybody else on page 1? Page 2. I have a question,
Yes.
and this appears multiple times through this, and your footnote on page 2, it says, this is with respect to the FAR as described in here. Now, you include in your, and I assume this is your comment, the green, right? Yes.
Yes.
It describes the existing front building, 2,900 square feet. Isn't that building being demolished? And if so, why is it reflected in here as part of the proposed FAR? Or floor area? That's why I was confused, and it's throughout this. Page 1. Although the
The
proposed FAR
existing, it was the existing conditions.
Right, so it shows what it's replacing.
No, it says based on existing self-storage, the DEIS proposed addition and the existing front building that had been proposed to remain under the DEIS. But now they're demolishing that.
Right. So we were trying to show the comparison between
Oh, what was
the
proposed?
FAR that was shown in the DEIS versus the FAR that's shown in the current plan.
Okay, then that's fine. Page 3.
Yeah, my page numbers are different. on the
Okay,
computer.
so
Or it's
page
okay.
4, which is, I have a question on page 4. Well, page 3 and 4. It says the balance of the building addition would be occupied by the following, and then it says 1 Murphy Brothers Contracting, office, a new woodworking shop, and then incubator professional space. But my question is, it's not Murphy Brothers Contracting shouldn't these be completely different uses? They're not Murphy Brothers. Murphy Brothers isn't having the woodworking shop. I think it's not, right? And similarly, the incubator professional office space is not a Murphy Brothers.
They are.
I would defer that question to the applicant's team.
Yeah, thank you. The Murphy brothers will be responsible. for
Oh,
the
okay.
working shop and the incubator.
Fine, okay, then that's fine.
Right.
Then I'm good with that. Okay, page 5.
I mean, Ashley, we're relying on you for all of the technical numbers on here. You've checked and triple checked.
Yeah, so that's been the bulk of the back and forth over the last month or so, has been making sure that all of these numbers that are shown in the FEIS match the documents that are supporting it. So on the site plan, the architectural plans, the SWIP, making sure that everything is consistent.
I noticed there were a lot of changes for that. Okay, page 6, I think I was trying to read my own notes, so hold on a second.
Do these numbers include the existing self-storage building?
The proposed numbers do.
So the proposed numbers include what's already there.
You see, it's got 44, I'm sorry, 59 existing and proposed, which includes existing. Okay. Page 7. Sorry, I don't know. I'm just gonna. Page 8. Anybody, I guess I should go, but does anybody have any comment on the introduction and description?
I thought you mentioned that in terms of description, this is our
Yeah,
document.
so if you see anything that's, I caught some, but I might not have caught everything. If you see something, yeah, there's some places we're gonna need changes where it just, where there's a description that is a, what's the word? A value judgment. All of those value judgments have to come out. But
Do you see
I didn't
any?
see any, and I have to say the section I may have glazed over when I read this. I noticed it in some other sections.
So if there are any other comments on this one, I can move on to the next chapter.
Well, just 1 second.
Yeah,
Okay.
just.
Yeah, take out in section under economic and fiscal resources. It says the DEIS fully documented the demand. I think the word fully should come out. The DEIS documented the demand. I'm sort of trying to remove, and I may not have gotten, I didn't get them all kinds of value judgments that did this. Now, in the first paragraph under economic and fiscal resources, there's a sentence. I just kind of, it says the FEIS plan reduces the amount of self-storage space from 56,000 and 321 to smaller, to less. While less economically beneficial to the applicant, this additional self-storage would serve to meet a portion. I guess that's fine. Never mind, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't have anything else, I don't think, so it is what it is. Yeah. Anyone else, Greta?
No.
Okay. Angelique, you weren't gonna comment on this. Okay. Go ahead, move on, please.
Okay. Let me just get the other one up.
Is this the comment index?
Yeah, I'll pull that one up first, but I don't think there's going to be much to see on that one.
That's fine.
It's just opening. Just give me a sec.
Oh, there's nothing on that.
On what?
There's
Yeah,
literally. nothing on the
There's
comments.
literally, there's nothing on it. It's just a list of who commented on the document. So we'll go to the land use.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's all I meant, the land use section.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, moving.
Well, I see on A3. Is there a date still to be included there? pretty much in the last part, as demonstrating the amended site drawings enclosed herein as Appendix K prepared by KTM dated XXX 2022.
Yes, there's a date that needs to be submitted
Does
there.
that need to be put in?
Yes, we did get some updated plans, so we do need to
There you
put
go.
the new date in there.
Charlie?
Yes,
Charlie? Okay, there's an entire discussion about segmentation. Did you read that?
I had not read it, but I certainly can.
We're making this, since this is our FEIS, I
Mhm.
honestly don't know if this is a correct statement of the law on segmentation, or not, but
Page?
page 2, it's just right below where you were, right below. Can you scroll down a little, Ashley, to where it begins with
Yep.
segment? I don't see it up there, but it's on my,
Right here.
no, the one I have is, it says segmentation is defined as the division of the environmental review of an action such that,
That might be up higher, actually.
Okay.
yes, okay, so I don't know whether this is correct or not, and Charlie, I need you to please read that section so that if it's not correct, it may be correct. I'm not saying it is or isn't, I just don't know. But someone needs to read that since they're making a legal argument, whether or not it is correct.
That paragraph that Ashley is highlighted.
The paragraph is the whole section. Segmentation is an entire, 7 or 8 paragraph.
But actually, it cites the code there, Charlie, so you just have to see if 6 NYCRR 617-2AH.
No, there's a lot of, there's multiple
Oh,
sections
yeah.
here. It's not just one. Then it goes to the secret handbook, and I didn't check it, and so it's a question of whether or not that's a correct statement of segmentation. If it is, then this is fine, and if it's not, it needs to be, we need to tell them to revise it.
Everything I'm reading on the screen right now is legally correct.
Well, scroll down, keep going, Ashley, then, because it keeps going for a while.
That is all correct. Legally, the legal aspects of it.
Right, that's what I'm really asking, because I just don't know whether the legal aspects are correct.
Right, I mean, they were arguing in their comment that it doesn't apply, but I believe that we had in their deliberations went through and just,
and-
just didn't agree with it.
But they
And
have this here, so now, do we have a problem with this? And that's the whole point. We have to decide whether or not we agree with this paragraph, these multiple paragraphs on segmentation. If we do, then it's fine, and if we don't, then it's not fine. I mean, it's a
Well-
significant question for us.
Well,
It's a big
I-
issue for everyone.
well, if the code that they quoted is correct,
Correct.
and we don't agree with their interpretation, which I believe is somewhere else in here, because in the end, we did make them combine it as one project. It's no longer an issue. They can state their argument and opinion in here. That's,
But except remember, they're not stating their argument, we are stating, so.
well, there, it's stated here as their response.
Right,
There's a comment.
but it's not their response, it's sort of response of us as the village, because it's our, I don't quite know. Ashley, who is it? Comments are by us, the response is by the applicant, but we're accepting, right, the comment.
Well, technically, the response is by you as well,
So.
even though, I mean, the initial drafting was by the applicant.
Right,
I mean,
it's-
what we've discussed previously on this issue is that the remedy to segmentation is to do an EIS to evaluate the whole build out of the project under seeker. So by going through this process, you have remedied the segmentation concern.
Right, but then the question is whether or not it would be appropriate to add another line or two here as our interpretation that, you know, that we do believe it's segmentation and we are remedying it by doing X, Y, Z.
I think that's
So-
what we.
I would advise against that because it's not segmentation. The fact that you've remedied any potential for segmentation is true, but I wouldn't label it as segmentation because that's not what it is. They've assessed through the DEIS and the FEIS and the finding statement the entire development now at this point. So there is no segmentation as far as the law is concerned. The only troubling language that I see here is the last sentence before you get to the A-2 comment, where it says segmentation has not occurred, and to the extent the ZBA determines otherwise, the segmented review of the overall project is justified. So it's either one or the other, really. Here, we don't have a segmented review because the entire project has been considered. So I think you would be able to just simply strike that sentence.
Fine, strike the so the sentence needs to be struck.
Yep.
Right, but aren't we considering the project as a totality?
Right, which is why it's
Yes.
not segmentation.
Right, so instead of just striking that sentence, should we put anything in there which says this project will be considered in its totality, thereby segmentation will not, could not occur, something.
What's it that the village is not?
What kind of
considered-
says it right here?
I think it's essentially in there.
Yeah.
There's two different,
Okay.
what they were trying to guard against in that last sentence was there is a thing in secret known as permissible segmentation. So that's when you can actually segment a project. But here we don't have permissible segmentation because the entire action has been reviewed as a whole. So that's why the sentence and sections that Ashley has highlighted now, in my mind, covers, Brian, what you had just mentioned.
Okay, so it's adequate. That's all I care about.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Okay. All right, then there's this discussion on the next couple of pages about the maker zone. I'm not sure that I agree that the FEIS plan has been developed to more closely align with the goals of the maker zone. I think it's more correct to say they didn't really do, that they put something in there, but it's okay if the rest of you think it is, and we could leave that sentence in.
Has the maker zone been established?
No, that's the point. It hasn't been adopted, so this is the
So
discussion. of
this
the
is just
Discussion. correct.
discussion. It
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Right. It's just, this is what the village wants to do with this area. This is, if the maker zone had already been adopted, they would have needed a whole lot of areas, but it hasn't been adopted, so
So it's not a substantive area. It can,
it's relevant. I mean, it's something for us in consideration, just to know that,
it
yes,
shows there was a discussion.
right. So. And the prior lumberyard operation was definitely consistent with the makers. Well, I don't know if it was, it's manufacturing. I don't know if that's consistent with the maker zone either. So it's a little hard to say whether it is or isn't consistent with whether either of them. where they're a
think they were
lumber
just-
yard. I don't think it's any
I
more.
think they were just
consistent than
storing
this.
supplies.
Yeah, that's the point. It was just a lumber yard, which isn't consistent with the maker zone either,
Right.
so it's not really complying any more closely with the maker zone. So the question is, do we want to take that sentence out? That's my question for you, for everyone. The
Where's the
sentence that
sentence?
says, the FEIS plan has been developed to more closely align with the goals of the maker zone. Well, we're okay with it, then we can leave it in. Certainly, it's not
I think it's fine.
fine. Okay, then we leave it. I
It
raised.
just means that they were thoughtful about what the village is trying to plan for the future right now. You know, substantively, it's irrelevant, but it shows that there were, you know, intentions. And
Right.
they were good.
Okay, the last sentence of that section talks about that will be used as an educational resource, but they're taking out the educational resource, so that sentence should come out.
I believe the woodworking shop is going to have classes.
Well, they took it out. It was someplace else and they says it's not there anymore.
The
I mean,
woodworking shop is remains.
no, there was a whole thing about an educational component that came out. I don't remember exactly now. I can't find it. Here it is. The previously proposed educational component of the woodworking use has been eliminated, says that. So it's either been eliminated or it hasn't been eliminated. Can't be both.
What page?
On
So-
1-3.
Excuse me, it's Kim Kelly with KTM Architect. That will have to be corrected. It is not eliminated. The woodworking shop will remain, and it is an educational function.
Okay, then it needs to be changed in a few
As I
places.
mentioned in the first sentence, it will need to be corrected.
Okay, so it is still there.
Yes, correct. Every document within the package that we filed includes the woodworking shop.
Yeah, but a
It's
lot
in
of
every
it.
zoning section, the chart, every plan.
Yes, I
every
noticed
section.
that. That was why I was trying to figure out which was true.
Well, we had a discussion on that and what was the reason? Was it a parking? Greta, didn't you bring something up about the woodworking shop? Was it insurance or was it parking or?
I don't remember.
Ashley, do you remember why? There was some
I
discussion.
don't remember why it would have been eliminated. It looks like this was deleted, or this sentence was added by the applicant's team at some point. But we did have a lot of questions about parking, the parking calculations. That's something we've been working out recently, making sure that everything matches there.
And does it match if they have a woodworking shop?
No, it's not.
Yeah, the woodworking shop, I believe, is included in the parking calculations.
Yes, I'll verify that. And just to corroborate what Ashley is referring to in the parking calculations, the coordination of parking calculations was no effort to coordinate values associated with the functions. There was a discrepancy. Where part of the written language identified a total of 17 parking spaces, allowing 4 employees of the self-storage facility. Our zoning, KTM Architect zoning, reflected 3. We've now had the charts made correct so that the total number of parking for required usage is 17, not 16. 4 employees for self-storage, not 3. None of those edits were related to woodworking. Woodworking has always been calculated and is included.
Where's that line put?
What?
Why was that line put? With the getting rid of the.
I
woodworking?
don't know, but they took it out. They have to put it back. I don't know why it was taken out. But that was where I saw that it wasn't, and then every place that I saw that it was still there, I was confused. So, okay. Okay. Now, on my next comment is a discussion for board members, page 3A9. This is about precedent. This is wrong. The statement here, in my opinion, is wrong.
What's the same? Where's the?
The zoning board is not bound by precedent in the determination of an area variance request unless all of the circumstances involving the requested variance are identical to a previous decision. With respect to land, no two pieces of property are ever identical. Therefore, the statement is completely wrong because you can never have two pieces of property that are identical. Even if you had a development of two single-family houses next door to each other that were looking exactly the same. Response 812. They would never be identical because one has different things to the right and one has different things to the left. So this is wrong, and I'm not going to say, we can't say that. We will not say that.
A more accurate statement might be that precedent is not a ZBA is not bound by precedent to the extent that in a future decision they outline distinguishing factors of that application and why the prior precedent doesn't apply. That's what the cases say.
Right. So please revise, this sentence needs to be revised, and not just that sentence. It says in a few places, there's multiple discussions about precedent. Maybe not multiple, there's a few places where it discusses precedent, and this needs to be revised to say something like what Charlie just said.
Yes, so I flagged that. I'll follow up with Charlie tomorrow to get that reworded.
Right. Okay, now A16 response. It says additional revisions. This is in response to a comment on. I don't even remember what it was a response to a comment on, but the point was, it says additional revisions may be required as the project moves through the site plan approval process. And this is a question, I don't know if it's an Ashley or a Charlie question. Since it has to go through the site plan approval process, changes may be made that may affect the FEIS. Whatever, I don't know what those changes are. Maybe the site plan process says, don't do this or do that, or move the building forward or move the building back or put more of this or whatever. How does that relate to, at what point, if at all, does that require changes in the FEIS, or does it never require? I mean, I know it does sometimes. I know you have subsequent, you have
the only time you would need to do a supplemental EIS is if the change somehow increased the potential for a significant adverse impact to occur that was not previously analyzed. So if the building got a little bit smaller, or they just, added some more landscaping because the planning board asked for it, that's not something that would trigger any revision to the FEIS. That's something that could proceed.
Add a sentence, please, that says if any changes what was it you just said, Ashley? If any changes would
have the potential to result in a significant adverse impact not previously analyzed.
Then additional environmental review may be required.
Okay.
So just add that sentence, please.
So just a typo in A15. It says FDIS.
It says that in a few places.
Maybe you can do a search on FDIS and correct them.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, so page in comment 821, board members. There's a question. This goes to my whole comment about what do we want to be saying about kind of a subjective standard. It says the treatment, this means because the way they're doing with the buildings with different facades, significantly reduces the mass of the building while restoring a human scale to the site. Do we approve of while restoring a human scale to the site?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I would take it out if that's. I would leave this treatment significantly reduces the mass of the building, period, because it does, and take out the piece of it about a human scale. Yes,
This is the mass of the building starting. While
I would just take out the piece and put a period there.
you could simplify it, the mass of the building,
That's what it does.
and scale to the site. But that's redundant.
Yeah, so let's just take out, put a period after the treatment significantly reduces the mass of the building and taking out while reducing the human scale.
Okay.
Okay. Now, again, see, there's another precedent is on the next page, response 823. It may be true that it's not an environmental factor to be considered when making a determination of significance. That's probably true, except that when making a determination of significance, you do consider the build year and what other projects may exist in the build year. What's the build year for this? Does anybody remember? Do you know? You know what the build?
The anticipated year?
The build year, when the whole the project is based on a specific impact in a specific year. What's your build year?
Well, I think I think it depends on when we get the approvals from.
But you can't do an EIS or a DEIS without having a build year, because when you do a DEIS, right, you're considering the impact of a project at a specific time. That specific time is supposed to include any other projects that are going to be on. So if you knew, or the village knew that there was a building going across the street that was going to have impact, that's there. So
2024.
2024. Okay. So, so speculation of unrelated projects that may be proposed, I think that's okay then, because if they're not, if they're currently proposed, you have to consider them. If they're not proposed, you don't have to consider them. So that's okay.
And usually, once the scoping document has been adopted, if anything comes in after the project, that new project would have to consider this project in their environmental review, as opposed to this project having to continuously add new projects as they pop up.
Everything, but just, so I just wanted to get this, so now we know what was supposed to be. So that sense is fine then. Okay. And I didn't remember this, so under the, this is comment 826 or response 826. It's talking about the variance granted for the first building. Is this right that there were 89 required and you proposed that you have 52 parking spaces now under existing conditions? That's what it says, and I didn't remember there being that many, and that's why I'm wondering. It says parking spaces 89 required, 52 proposed, variance granted, which is only it's 47 spaces. Somehow I thought it was a bigger variance, but maybe not. So
We're confirming right now, but there are 52 spaces on the property. And I believe.
oh, if there are
actually,
52, then there are 52, then
this is
that's right.
something We were working to clarify the consistency on the document.
I mean, if there are 52, then there were 52. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just didn't remember that.
And then on our client is saying it was confirmed by the building.
Fine, okay, then that's fine. As I say, I didn't remember. It just seemed more than I remembered.
Right. And then they have an 825, the fact that we're considering the site as a whole, so. That goes back.
Okay, now we go to 829. This is again going to, this is our applicant, this is ours. So the first sentence, the applicant has demonstrated a longstanding commitment to green building.
Well, the current existing storage
I guess
facility
it's,
is a green
yeah,
building.
so then it's fine. Okay, so then. Then I guess all of these awards are correct. Okay, I think that's fine then. I didn't have anything else. I don't think in this section. Anyone else? Anything? Nope. Nope. Good. Moving on to, oh, I didn't actually go through the section. So hopefully it's okay. Oh, I did. So I have a question about C9, and this is, I recognize it's through not knowing. So it's somebody should explain. It says the building will be designed with an SDS in place as a precaution.
This is the has material.
This is the
Yeah.
hazmat.
So that's a
Right, but then,
subsurface.
but it's the inconsistencies here. Then it says, if an SSDS is proposed, a vapor barrier would be required. But it's being designed with an SSDS in place. So how can it be if it's proposed? These two sentences seem inconsistent.
Okay, we'll take out the if proposed. It is being required.
Okay, so fix that one.
Which what was that? Which comment number?
C9 response.
C9.
I wasn't sure what the SSDS was, but I knew it couldn't be both proposed and
It's
Design.
pretty clear.
Okay. And then again, in a few places like C12 says, if a SSDS or SVE is deemed necessary, but again, they're putting it in, so it's already either been, it doesn't matter whether it's deemed, they're putting it in. So that has to be corrected too, to reflect. It says based on field conditions at the time of construction, but it's already being included, so that should be revised to reflect the SSDS.
Well,
I actually don't think that this is
No.
conflicting here. But
no, some of these things they're not gonna know until they start digging it up, correct? Don't they have to test the soil and then it kind of triggers?
so
these
they did
protections?
do some soil testing already. And then they have a plan in place for if they encounter something that they
Right,
didn't find while testing. So yes, some of the things are, if they find a tank that they didn't know about, they have a plan to deal with how they, properly dispose of that tank.
So the plan is in place, but they don't necessarily have to build it. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
And-
it's a plan for unforeseen circumstances.
That's what the
So-
SS is the plan for.
Well, the SSDS is not for unforeseen. That is when they did the testing, they did find some contaminants in the groundwater that were below levels that would need to be remediated, but they didn't end up doing any vapor testing. So what AKRF had recommended was that they put in an SSDS if they weren't going to do any more sampling of the potential air issues, then they should put in the SSDS, and that will prevent any issues from occurring down the road within the building.
Okay, but then this is wrong to say if an SSDS is deemed necessary based on field conditions, if they're already doing it, or am I
No,
missing?
no,
something?
they're saying that.
I'm
the
a little
current-
confused there.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too, because it says that the hits exceeded unrestricted use of this, but it doesn't disallow the development of the site. So they're gonna be handled in accordance with the regulations.
And they didn't detect anything so far, but this seems inconsistent, and maybe it's language, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll go back through this with our hazmat specialist and just make sure that everything's consistent.
Okay.
I think maybe it should just be more of an and. I mean, they found some things that doesn't preclude them from developing. But
Right.
It has to be handled in a certain way. And then you could say, and if there are, site conditions that, have further requirements, it too will be
Right,
handled.
and that's fine,
essentially.
yeah. Okay, now comment or response C15. The last point says, the findings of the phase 1 recommends that given the likely presence of asbestos, lead paint, and PCBs, Proper sampling and abatement shall be undertaken. So is that being done? This is something that's going to happen, correct?
That's something that happens during demolition.
Right, so it's going to happen, and if there is asbestos, they have to deal with appropriate asbestos removal, all those complicated requirements and all. Okay, fine. Now. And there's a question, Ashley. So now C16, it says a geotechnical engineer will prepare a pre-construction survey and install monitoring equipment on adjacent structures to ensure their integrity. Now, we all know that what you say in an FEIS has no binding effect, and if they don't do it, there's nothing that anyone can do about it. So
Well,
it is it is.
What are surrounding buildings? Are we talking about the property that they own and the fact that they're keeping the existing storage facility? Or are you talking about something on Railroad Way?
This is about railroad, the next paragraph.
It does, okay.
Then it says no, and that was my question. No impacts or railroad way are anticipated provided proper showing is installed in accordance with the recommendation of a structural engineer as required. And my question for you is, should this be done as a required mitigation? It's like, I mean, this just says provided it's done, but it doesn't say they're going to do it. So
You can require it as part of your statement of findings, and then it is enforceable.
so then we will require it as a statement of findings. Okay.
This was C.
C16, the
16.
next to last paragraph.
Right.
I was concerned about that. I mean, there may be other things, but this one I noticed in particular. Okay. That was it. Anybody else?
Actually, on that paragraph, shouldn't it say to ensure their integrity throughout the build? Because it just kind of, it says they'll prepare a pre-construction survey and install monitoring equipment on adjacent structures to ensure their integrity. But it kind of stops short there.
Well, then we'll put it in the finding statement, I think is what she's saying. That's the requirement that we make. That they have to do whatever they have to do.
That it has to be maintained
Correct.
throughout the build.
Yeah, and that's that's part of our finding statement. Okay, I didn't actually have anything, I don't think, on F. Oh, no, I'm not up to F, sorry, we're up to D.
Are you on flooding?
We're on D,
D.
yeah, I was just kind of reading something else. I skipped a page. Okay, D. Flooding. So.
I think we had really gone through this
We
one.
did, but now that we're getting to the bottom.
Ashley, were there any significant edits to this section that you want to bring to our attention besides just the simple red lines?
No, the big thing here was just making sure that we got the diagram that was requested by the board. So I can share that.
Yeah, would you? Because I didn't see it, so.
Also, the exact number of the flood storage, which I see.
I know I had gone out there with David actually to look at it. Looked like they were doing.
So it's a cut through of the building, of the proposed building. And what they've shown here is the approximate elevation of the flooding during Ida. and then the typical floodplain.
And the new building will be, if I recall, and so correct me, the new building will be above Ida?
No, so Martelli and my son will also speak on this. No, that's not correct.
That's not
The
correct.
building is designed for FEMA regulations, it's 2 feet above the floodplain elevation. Floodplain is 26. The building first floor is 28. It's the same as the existing floor.
Right now,
Ida was,
When, now I want to clarify this. This is the owner doing approximate measurement of approximately how much water came in at one moment. He
Yeah, yeah.
guesstimate 28.5, 6 inches somewhere within the building above the floor. I'm being very clear in this drawing that that is not
scientific,
legal documentation.
right?
That's someone walking with their feet on the floor, estimating how high water came in on a concrete slab.
okay, so my question is, you've got the current self-storage building. The elevation is at 28?
28.
Okay. This entire structure is now going to be built at 28, correct?
That's correct.
Although when you get to Fenimore Road, 28 feet, that's
Tremendously high above Fenimore Road, as you can see.
right. What is the sorry, what's the
I don't have average grade referenced here, but just so you can see, there's a height elevation of approximately 6 feet. You'll see it just between those 2 dashed lines.
Yeah.
That indicates the differential between the first floor and the point as we get to Fenimore Road, that continues to drop further away.
So you're probably 7 or 8 feet above Fenimore Road, like the lowest
It's
point,
6 feet.
6 feet.
That's an actual number right there. That's 6 feet to the first floor.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought that was actually still on the property. Sorry.
Yes, it will. You're right, because you can take points on a street, but if you look at most roads, they'll either have either a crown or a concave. So at some point it's high, at
Right.
some point it's
Okay. All right. Well, that's the technical answer. That's where they're going to be.
Okay.
And and that area from 28 feet to where the elevation of the ground is, that's going to be just open space under there. I think
There's gonna be a rain garden over in that area. There'll also be landscape.
no, I'm talking about under the building. So
Under the
that's
building,
just going to be open foundation
Yes,
and it's just a pass through. So water comes in, water goes out.
correct.
Okay. And is there any kind of a vapor barrier in between the floor and the,
They're most likely to be like a rat slab down, which is like a thin coating of concrete, just
And where does that go?
that goes underneath. It's basically like a crawl space between the floor, the slab of the floor, which is at 28, and anything underneath that. It's put in so that way,
When the water comes in, you will have a slight slope to it, so it'll pitch the water, so it just goes that way, you know.
And I had another question, which I may have thought of before and forgot. The building is going to be wet flood proof, right? Where? In other words, at what level is the water supposed to flow through? At the basement level, not at the first floor level?
No, under the first.
Under the first floor, right?
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, just confirming. Okay. Now. Now D5 says, while some of these items, this is about whether they're mitigation or not mitigation. And I guess it's the use of the term mitigation that was raised here. If you have to comply with FEMA requirements That's not mitigation. So this says they remain mitigation measures to reduce, but they're not mitigation if you're required to comply with the law.
Right, that's,
Complying with the law is not mitigation, but this was something that got raised, and I think they're trying to answer it. Oh, there's still mitigation measures, but I don't see how if you have to comply with the law, that's mitigation. You can say the result will be to mitigate, that's fine, but they're not mitigation measures per se. They are legal requirements in order to meet the thing. So I don't really think we should be calling it a mitigation measure. I mean, not in this, because there's a legal concept to the mitigation measure. And compliance with law is not usually considered a mitigation measure. I have to build my building safely. That's not a mitigation measure. That's a building compliance. So it's,
If when we're doing stormwater, specifically it's stormwater mitigation.
that's what the code law says.
Even though it's required.
But no, but that's what FEMA or the state or the village code says. The use of the term mitigation, is that in the village code or FEMA? And if it's not, then it isn't mitigation. It's illegal. I mean, I don't
Or the
know.
other way to frame it is the avoidance of the impact. It is pretty commonly used, and when you are talking about flooding and stormwater.
We call them mitigation measures.
Yes.
Okay, then let's leave it if it's a commonly used term. That's fine. I'm not, I don't care. It was just my thought, but it is.
I understand that they, I think the comment was designed so that people wouldn't take credit for something that they're required to do. However, the response is saying, well, it's required,
Yeah.
and it's required
But
because
because
it's
of it.
considered a mitigation for something which is happening. Flooding happens, so you mitigate it by doing so. I think it's semantics. I don't think it's
No, that's
substantive.
what I was checking.
Yeah.
Now I've got the answer. It isn't an issue. Okay, a few places in this, it's like in the response to 11, it says, the text on page I-11 defining the 500-year floodplain should have read this. And so should have read, was it revised to read that? I don't,
Well, Ashley,
So
cross-reference all those?
what we typically don't go back and revise the DEIS once it's been accepted as complete. So where there was where it was referring to the SWIP or the site plan or something else that is included as a revised document in the FEIS, we ask the applicant to revise it, and that is now included.
so in this sentence, the text on page I-11 defining the 500-year floodplain should have read, is this in the DEIS or
That
the?
in the DEIS.
Can you add the language in the DEIS? Because otherwise I'm thinking, why isn't it corrected here?
I believe this was in the Keller sessions, not even. It's not in the-
Well, it says text on page I-11, that's in the DEIS or the FEIS.
No. It says 1-11 should be changed to there's a Keller sessions.
No, not this
No, the
response.
Keller that's the Keller Sessions memo is who made the comment. The Keller Sessions made the comment.
DEIS or the FEIS, and that's the point. If it's
Yeah.
in the FEIS, it should be changed.
Yeah,
and if
you're
it's
right.
not, then it should just say in the DEIS, that's all. Okay, then. Then on, in response D13, it's about Charlie Gottlieb advises EPA that a supplemental EIS is not required and additional information regarding flooding should be incorporated into the FEIS. And then Ashley said this, was this done?
Yes. Yeah, I
And
would
can-
say that
can
with the
This was done or something like that, so it's clear, because otherwise it looks like somebody said to do something and nobody did it. So something in there that said these were done. Okay, on page, comment D14, one of the comment, this is describing the impacts of Ida. I just had, any changes being made, and maybe they're not because Ida was hopefully a really once in a lifetime event, but we keep having those, so who knows? I'm just curious, it talks about the impact on the existing self-storage building. You're not doing anything there, right, to change any of it?
They have floodgate measures to be put in,
Oh, so, okay.
so.
Also, I think there was a bit of an issue with a generator not working and nobody able to get there to turn it on. And I don't know whether or not it went on an automatic transfer switch or.
Not our project.
Yeah, no, it was. Who's,
We're talking about an emergency generator
Yeah.
during Ida.
Chris, what?
Not,
It didn't turn on during Ida. It's been put on a switch.
no.
What?
No, we have generators that are manually.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said that had somebody been able to get down
Yeah,
there.
if somebody could get down there, we were all away, vacation.
Right, so I guess the question is whether or not you guys plan to put that on like an automatic transfer switch so that it doesn't need to have somebody go into the flood zone to turn it on.
Yes. In this phase, we plan, if we do this phase, plan on putting a generator on the roof, automatic, and transfer switch and everything.
Okay,
So everything will kick in, the pumps, everything will be powered up in the building.
right, so I'm not crazy. Ashley, is that in there somewhere?
I don't recall the generator being in here.
Well, that's substantial.
Yeah, if that's relevant to the flooding, then they need
I
to.
just wanted to clarify, something like a component of generator, or HVAC equipment, components that are integrated as part of the rooftop, the systems within the building, unless they were to occupy a portion of the site plan or affect zoning or planning board review, typically would not be included in this stage of the architectural and civil engineering design. If we were doing a system that required placement on the ground, enclosure, a siting, yes, typically we'd have those on the site. The elements that are not located in the siting of the building, the siting of the land, wouldn't be indicated here. We can't simply include it as an intended portion. It would be a requirement for the building department to review that generator in construction drawing final.
Right, where I'm just talking about flood mitigation and things that were discussed in order to avoid any potential hazards going forward. Right.
It wasn't discussed as a requirement, however, it's a condition that will be included in the construction scope of the project.
What do you do with that?
No, if it's relevant to a determination of no impact in the flooding, then it has to be mentioned here. If it's not relevant, then it doesn't. That's what it seems to me. If it's
It
relevant.
sounds like something they haven't,
What's relevant? What if you don't lose power? I mean,
So, well, what we can do, Ashley, maybe we can add a sentence to the last sentence, right above D15 that says, as well as HVAC adjustment.
Yeah, as far as stormwater, there's no part of the left that is necessary. Everything is all by gravity, there's no pump, there's nothing that is necessary for functioning on site.
I understand that. It's a matter of, you had Ida. And I remember David Neufeld was continually questioning what happened to the current structure in Ida. And the fact is that some water did penetrate the building. And
But the measures that are being proposed don't.
we'll
require pumps.
avoid that.
Yeah, the measures that are being proposed don't depend on electricity. It is gates that are put up and installed.
So the doors, they're flood-proof doors.
Correct.
Then I don't think.
You know, I see resistance. Why don't you want to add that? If that's your intent.
Because it's not under the purview of this board. So it's important that we keep elements that are associated with building department, and building permits and systems with those agencies. It's important to keep the elements associated with zoning and zoning. If the zoning board believes that this is an element, zoning associated, then you have to reference why this element is related to zoning board review.
Okay, so let me give you an answer on. This is an environmental impact. This is a secret review. Okay?
Right.
Secret deals with the impacts to property, safety, health. Because this board is responsible for providing this and creating this document in order, which is something that you need to go on to the next stage. The next stage is zoning. That's where the authority comes from.
Right.
So if in fact, this is something which we felt is required to prevent harm to people or property from flooding, which has been demonstrated to occur on the property, then yes, it's something that we discuss. It's something that could be included in this document. We're not making a variance decision here. We're doing an FEIS.
But just to go back to what I was saying earlier, any of the flood mitigation measures are not electric.
And that's, and now I understand. When you're saying electric dependent, you're one step ahead. You have to kind of bring it back and say, the generator would be supplemental. It's not necessary because you actually have floodgates that close automatically. So that's really what I need to hear. I don't need to hear pushback. I don't need to hear what we can and can't do.
Oh, no, and that's what I was just going to explain, that between the stormwater measures and the floodgates that they have, everything will be, there's no reason that we need supplemental power to enact those.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't need it in there if he's got flood doors amongst the whole site that are going to close, but it was something that came up in discussion because it would have prevented the damage that was incurred in the building. So it's satisfactory that they put in a different thing, but it's not inappropriate to ask about it.
Okay, Greece, you're right. You are correct. Okay, anything else on the flooding chapter? Well, given your concern, does it say in the FEIS that the flood doors are automatic, et cetera, but there's no issue?
No.
Should we say it?
Well, how do they work?
Well,
Are they-
we sent cut sheets in, and all that information on the ones that some of them that we proposed, but. Yeah, so. They're. When we build the building, we build them into it, and as the water comes up, there's floats built into them that push them up automatically.
Okay, so they're
automatic.
yeah, they're
Yeah. The water,
gravity,
if it
they're
starts
whatever.
flooding, it gets into those gates first, fills those up, and they raise up.
So it's pure mechanical.
Right.
Okay. Is she edited?
Yes, I've just added the floodgates will launch automatically without the need for electricity.
Perfect.
Very good.
Yep.
Thank you.
perfect.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, now anything else on the flooding chapter? Or whatever chapter we were just. Yeah, flooding, sorry. Okay, next is E, historic resources. There's nothing there, so moving on to F, visual resources.
We spent a lot of time on this.
Okay, so my first question is F1 response. There are all these numbers. 522, what are those numbers? See, it says 522 in parentheses, the large barn was used in 560. What are those numbers?
Those are
The
draft.
addresses, so 416 is.
Oh,
the-
could you please add 522 Mamaroneck, the address, I had no idea what 522 was or 560 was.
Is that all Waverly? Or no,
Fenimore, so is it all Fenimore?
some,
416 is Waverly.
Yeah, 416 is,
Yeah, 5 are kind of one.
yeah, could you add that, fact what those are? Just write it 522 Fenimore, 416 Waverly, et cetera, because it's not clear. I had no idea.
416. How do you not know?
Is this numbers of
It's right
places,
there.
of buildings, of people, of?
It's painted on the building.
Do you recall if it was 408 was Fenimore or Waverly?
It's Waverly.
Okay, now this chapter had a lot of sections that we need to revise because they have qualitative and value judgments that need to come out. So we start with the first paragraph in that here. Today, Murphy Brothers Contracting has evolved into a construction management business. That's fine. However, the rest of it, achieving the same high level of quality workmanship, take that out. We're not saying it. I don't know if it is or isn't. It's a value judgment. I'm not saying whether Murphy Brothers achieves the same high level of quality workmanship or not. But I don't want to say that. Okay. F3 has the same sentence about human scale that should be deleted. And again, it's in F4, there's a few places, just go, like, do a word check of any place that talks about human scale. That should come out. Now, F6. The opinion, so I think, since it talks about the applicant, but so the sentence there, the opinion expressed by the applicant that the building addition would be architecturally distinctive was intended to distinguish its appearance when compared to the existing industrial buildings. That's probably okay because it's the applicant's statement, but will anybody else have a thought on it and think about whether or not you think that's okay? There's more human scale in the next paragraph, but if you're okay with that sentence, that's fine. I'm not sure because it talks about the applicant, but was intended to
Can you
distinguish.
go back up and look at it
It's
again?
just a factual,
That's why I'm saying, what under, I just want to know because it was,
yeah,
that's why I'm asking.
because it's qualified as,
By the applicant.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
says that it's an opinion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think it's okay.
It's fine, and
Okay.
really, the next paragraph is much more important. Where it shows
But it's
what they have done.
Right, and that's correct, though, this statement
Yeah.
is correct, except for the human scale thing, which we'll take out, the rest of it's correct. Okay, now we go to F7 response. And this, I don't want it, this is not. It says the building addition entirely consistent with the character of the existing self-storage building, that is correct. And the planning board granted by virtue of these approvals and the subsequent construction of the self-storage, the character of the area in the vicinity of the site was firmly established. No. The character of the site was established, but not with respect to the area. And that's, I will not say, I do not think we can say that.
I don't even know about character of the site because we were not you know, they originally proposed to build pretty much the same exact building. And, you know, because it's just all one level, all.
Oh, actually, it's more the character wasn't established
Right.
because, yeah, that's to take out the sentence. Maybe even the first sentence, but this one.
What's the comment? Who made this comment?
It was about character of the community. They said this is the character of the community.
That's official.
And
I think you get rid of that first paragraph of their answer.
well, we could leave the first sentence in the building addition is consistent with the character of the
Maybe
existing
take the word
self-storage building.
entirely.
I actually think, yeah, taking this whole paragraph out makes sense because the building's changed. The
Right.
comment was on the DEIS version and now it's completely different.
Take it out.
I would take that out. And I would also argue that they made so many renovations so that it wouldn't be exactly like the other building. I think that the second paragraph, you know, is enough.
That's fine. We'll take it out. No. What? It's a very long.
Yeah,
It's a big issue.
Yeah.
It's a big issue. Now, then it talks about. I think that's okay. Now. And then F8, comment F8, it's proposed addition with, this is in your considering of the alternatives. Now we're saying, right, because it's ours, the reduction in gross square footage would reduce the number of storage units by approximately 1/3, making this alternative uneconomically viable. Was there an economic analysis done? And if not, how can we say that it's uneconomically viable?
We provided a fiscal
Did you?
analysis back, the applicants, I believe, provided it with the original application.
Oh, that maybe I don't remember.
Yeah,
honestly.
I remember it. I think it was by Chiswell.
Or should we say that the applicants have stated it or not, is not economically viable?
Yes, making.
Yeah, we
this-
can say that.
Yes, that's a good one.
Stated, or you could say provided an analysis.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I say provided an analysis instead of just made a statement because we required them to provide some type of information.
okay.
Which bullet was that? I'm just not seeing economically viable. Jump out at me.
It's the middle of, it's F8 under proposed addition, the alternative proposed addition with one less floor.
Okay.
And again, you got to do a human scale check because there's another human scale in F10, but there could be other human scales.
Search the,
Yeah, that's what I said, search the term.
if she can.
They haven't worked. Okay. Okay, anything else? I don't, okay, I didn't have anything else. Look at the response staff, 11 is the,
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
that's the only one that was. Since it talks about it is the applicant's opinion, it is the applicant's opinion, I think it's okay.
Yeah, they're qualifying.
Yeah, that's why I think it's fine, but no one has read it yet. Okay. Oh, this is the one that I have. All right, that's F, then. D is, I didn't
Utilities.
do anything in G. I didn't actually look at D.
Traffic was fine.
Yeah, traffic was nothing.
There's the economic fiscal.
Yeah, I know, I had
analysis,
comment, there's some things on that, but just going through G or H, does anybody have any, want to look or anything? Not. Oh, H3, sorry, H3 comment.
It's loading. Here we go.
We have
H3. Take out the word obviously. Obviously, the applicant would adhere to any and all identifications. Take out the word obviously.
Oh, that was a comment that was made by somebody at the public hearing.
I know, but we don't need to, this is, oh, that's the comment.
It's a comment.
Oh, that's the
That's
comment.
their comment.
Sorry, then leave it. Yes, then that's fine. Yeah, sorry, I misread, I misunderstood which side it was. Yeah, that's probably. Okay, now go to comment H6, the last paragraph above H7.
Sorry, I went to I went back to econ.
She was on I.
Oh, I moved back, so I realized I had. Sorry, I moved back.
Okay, I've got H6.
Okay. Read the last sentence and tell me if we're good with it. The second, it's after the purple.
After the purple?
Where it says there will be ample parking even without the principles of shared parking being applied.
And that's their response?
This is their response. This is what they're saying. That we don't even, that 26 are plenty. And now are we saying there will be ample parking? And I'm not sure I'm willing to say that. It's all based on so I would say, based on their
representation.
their analysis, they provided a traffic analysis, and that's what the traffic analysis showed. So, but, and I don't want, it's the word ample. So I would say,
Sufficient?
there will be sufficient, adequate, yes, I would just say adequate parking. And put in based on their traffic analysis, so we have a source for that. Or their parking analysis, whichever analysis is based on.
I think there will be adequate parking.
But it's only because the estimated demand based on their traffic analysis. Otherwise,
There should be. How about instead of will be, there should be.
well, the traffic analysis says, or whichever analysis it was, says this is how many parking spaces you need for these uses. Not mostly it's the.
Yeah, but it could be wrong. I mean, it's a projection based on a particular.
But that's why
method.
they're basing it on that. Based on that, there
So-
will be adequate parking. So it's based on that. You want to say
Right.
should be? I'm okay with should be. I don't care.
It doesn't matter, you know, but
Should be fine.
There's projected to be adequate parking based upon the,
that's fine.
Yeah, I just want the reference to the based on the analysis. So there's a
Yeah.
basis for this.
Based on the analysis, adequate parking is projected to be provided.
I like it.
So it's
Sounds
kind of
good.
awkward.
A combination of both of your. Which is good.
At this point of the night, we can make one cohesive sentence.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now I. All right, so response I1, bottom of page. Take out the paragraph that says Mamaroneck self-storage offers our clients a convenient, safe, clean storage option. That should come out. Okay.
Something about stellar reputation.
Yeah, that should come out too. There was more, but I didn't see the circle everything. That should come out.
I mean, that more of that should come out.
Yeah, anything like that should come out. Yeah, same thing in Mamaroneck self-storage has been serving the community storage needs of hundreds of satisfied clients. That should come out. It should just say Mamaroneck self-storage has been serving the community since October 2015.
So I think part of this is, and I understand what you're saying with the stellar and the injections there, but some of this is showing that there's demand, right? So if they're showing that they have hundreds of clients.
Well, I don't have a problem with saying currently
follows that.
the facility is operating at 95 to 100% capacity, but I'm not going to, from the village perspective, say that they're satisfied customers.
Right, yeah, I understand that part of it, but saying they have hundreds of customers.
I didn't have-
I mean, that's.
But that's factual.
That's factual, right?
Right. So 100, hundreds of customers,
Oh, that's fine.
but the last sentence on I3, again, modern
Right.
offices will reflect the quality and professional,ism
Yeah, that should come
of their
out.
40-year-old,
That has to come
42-year-old,
out also.
which may or may not be true. I'm sure it is true, but
Right, we're not saying, village is
but-
gonna say it.
we can't put that.
Yeah, but and the same thing, yeah, and I4 too, because of its stellar reputation for providing quality service, that has to come out. Okay. I think that was it, that I actually had comments on. Oh, wait, I have something else. No, that was it. I didn't have any other comments. If anyone else did,
That's it for that thing. Then what are the other sections?
after, there's like nothing. I is building demolition and construction.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah, and there
What
was,
about, now the applicant's revised
Then it's the way it is.
documents.
So what they provided recently was the updated water and sewer load calculations, the SWIP, and the survey.
Right, yeah, I'm looking at the survey and all of that.
And
Now,
then last week or the week before, they provided so the FOIL request that was referenced in a couple of the responses. And they've also provided updated zoning tabulations.
so were these the remaining items needed?
Yes,
Or-
we have now received all of the items that were identified in the email that I sent to the board last week.
Okay, so yeah, so this email that we got from you, I guess that was 12/23 last Friday. So they provided the architectural plans, the SWIP, sewer, water. Okay, so it's now you're deeming this, that you have all the information, it's complete.
Yes.
Okay, so if there's anybody else on the board, any comments on this?
You know, Dave might.
But Dave isn't here and I'm.
Yeah.
And he didn't send anybody any comments either. So unfortunately, it's not fair to the applicant. We're not gonna keep this open. I know, I was hoping Dave would be here.
Ashley, are those items that I need in order to post? I didn't get those. Stuff you
I will send them
received?
to you. So,
Okay.
I mean, at this point, it's a preliminary draft FEIS.
Okay.
It's not officially complete until the board deems it complete, and then we'll have a full revised version that gets posted to the website.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So so nobody else has comments, right? We're done. So now Ashley or you are gonna revise it as per our comments. And
Yeah,
then-
so you have two options. So option one would be, we walk through everything this evening. I think we have pretty clear direction on the minor edits that need to be picked up based on this conversation. And you could accept it as complete, subject to those revisions. Or you could, at the next meeting, we would have the full document ready and you could accept it as complete as is.
Thoughts? But we're not gonna add more comments at the next time. If they've done it, they've done it.
We're not gonna add any more comments, and actually Ashley was pretty much doing it up on the
Right.
screen. I don't know how, whether or not we would sit there and be able to read through it again, or whether
Yeah,
or not we
I
get
mean-
it ahead of time. I don't think I'd be okay with it being done.
Yeah, Greta?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, accepting it as revised, once
On
revised,
the condition that it would be revised based on the comments we discussed this evening.
correct. So then, assuming we've done that, because we have to vote, and we didn't vote, but assuming we do that, Ashley, then give me the timing and everything else that happens. You will revise it, and that will take you a day, 2 days, couple of days, whatever, because you've got to go back and there were a couple of things you had to check with other people.
Yes, there was the one section that I need to check with Charlie. There's the one section I need to check with our hazmat person, and then I think
Right.
everything else was just word global searches to make sure we're catching all those things.
Yeah, so that's.
I would say like the end of next week because a lot of people are on vacation this week.
So it'll be revised, let's say by the end of next week. So then formally what happens?
So formally then, we
When does
would,
10
we have to
days-
coordinate with the applicant's team on how they want to handle printing it. It becomes officially filed as soon as the print copy gets delivered to the village and it gets posted on the village's website.
So
And then it's 10 days from that point that
Okay.
you'd be able to, that would start the 10-day clock.
So is it possible, since this board is meeting next Thursday, to have the revised version of what we discussed tonight available next Thursday so that the applicant can then, after next Thursday's meeting, prepare the print copies? And then within 10 days, actually provide a notice of completion?
We have to issue a finding statement. Wait, I have a question. We have to issue a finding statement within those 10 days. Now,
No,
No, it's a minimum, it's a 10-day waiting period between when the document gets filed and the notice of completion is issued, and then there's a 10-day waiting period.
Okay, and then we would issue our finding statement thereafter.
Yes,
Okay, because we're not having a meeting anytime thereafter.
but technically, if you were to accept it as complete tonight, we could administratively put together the notice of completion.
For our next meeting.
Well, I could have it ready for the next meeting if you wanted to vote on it.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay.
It would also be a good idea to, along with the notice of completion, just have, if you vote tonight, that's fine, but just have a resolution formally deeming the FEIS complete. We did that for the DEIS. It's a very simple resolution. There's no deliberations or discussions. It's just formally deeming it complete.
So,
Let's just get those things for next Thursday.
yeah, that's fine. Let's
Yeah,
do
we
it.
can do that.
Perfect.
So we'll have the notice of completion and the resolution for Thursday.
Fine.
then
And we'll
actually-
probably have all the edits picked up. By then as well.
Right, and then after the filing, is it 30 days from the filing that the findings need to be made?
It's a 10-day waiting period, and then the guidance is a maximum of 30 days. But that
A
Okay, that
maximum of
means
30
that-
days from the 10 days
From the
or
10 days.
from the day it's filed.
no,
So-
that's before the 10
That's
days.
before the 10 days.
No, so it's when you file it, that starts the clock for the 10-day waiting period. And then it's the cap on that from the filing date is 30 days. So it's between 10 and 29 days that you need to, or between 10 and 30 days that you need to adopt the finding statement.
So we would have to adopt the finding statement at the next meeting. That works. There's time, it's 30 days.
Yes,
Is there 30 days between, hold on, there's 31 days in January.
that's where
There
I'm
are
messing.
not 30 days. We can't do it next Thursday.
Well,
there's some flexibility there. So you can put it on your February meeting for your findings.
So we'll do a February meeting. We'll have to be on the calendar.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure the timing was there.
No, that's exactly what I was saying, that gets a little bit close if it's, I don't want it to automatically fail if we,
No, so it has. to
No,
be-
it doesn't automatically fail.
There's no enforcement there, so we just be late. And they could sue us to get it done on time, which would of course not get it done any faster. So,
okay, so it sounds
That's
like we
fine.
have a plan.
mhm.
Okay.
Ashley, you're gonna put a draft together of the finding statement? When we're ready?
Yes. Yes, and I will plan on circulating that early in January, so you have plenty of time to review it. And if you want to send me comments individually,
Okay,
so we don't have any open meetings law issues, it can't be circulated to the full board, just individually. I can pick them up in advance of that meeting.
okay.
And Charlie, can you find like an old resolution for us to go by, or could somebody?
Brittany, can you find the DEIS one?
We have the DEIS resolution, and
I wasn't around.
I can coordinate with your new council here in the one remaining day I have.
Charlie.
Okay, thank you.
That.
Okay, so are we done on this? Yes,
I think we made a lot of progress.
we did. I think we're done. Okay,
See you next week.
good night.
Thank you.
Okay, now board members. It is 11:15.
Comments from the public. This was close, right?
Yeah, we had the public hearing, remember? Almost nobody, the only people who really spoke was us. Okay, we have 3 closed applications. It is 11:15. We will not, what do you want, what are your thoughts on moving forward with this?
We're gonna meet in a week.
That's my point. Do
I'm-
you want to take any of these?
Which
One of them,
ones, which ones were?
we
they?
have Barkila, McCrory, and 883 Port Drive.
I think we better take it up next.
Fine, then we will take them up next week.
Yeah, because they all,
Oh, I have to say,
they deserve a little bit more money.
No, we've worked, remember, Robin, we went working till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yes,
That wasn't a good.
it was not good. I was already deciding that we weren't going past midnight at all tonight. So we will, and unless something, whatever, like there's a timing thing, we have to, I do not want to ever go past it again. Yeah, that was, it was not
Too much.
It was too much.
So Angelique, we're ending early tonight. Joining the board.
Okay, so the meeting is a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Yes?
I
Yes.
say yes.
Okay, so the meeting is adjourned, and I'm just reminding everybody that everything on the agenda tonight is on the agenda next week, as well as we actually have one new application.
Yeah, we do. That's.
But the point is, a lot of these we've done with, there's like gonna be.
Are we gonna get a new agenda?
I already sent it.
Okay,
It's-
thank you.
It's.
Yeah.
It's there
That's
on,
why everything's there, because it had to be.
It's there
we had to
online.
send it
It's
out.
just one new application. I posted it today. It's 166 Maple. Those are the packets that were sent out.
Well, wait a minute,
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Waverly was, since this was not on, can you go get the people? We need to get the people who just walked out.
anybody?
Are you guys still there?
I did put Waverly on for January 5th.
Oh, you did? Never, okay.
I did. Yeah, it's on for the 5th already, Kristen. I think I already told you that. I put it on for the 5th. I
Okay.
carried it over. Yep.
Oh, okay, that's what I was worried about.
Happy
No,
New Year.
I copied the agenda exactly and I added 166 Maple.
Okay, perfect.
And by the way, the 166
so-
Maple is gonna, it's a very cut and dry thing. So-
Okay, so then we are adjourned. LMC TV, you can,
Charlie, I just want to say thank you for everything.
yeah, Charlie,
you,
thank you for
Charlie.
all of your help.
You've been terrific.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Take care.
I'm gonna
Thank
miss
you.
you.
Do your Charlie.
You too.
You don't live in Milwaukee, do you?
I do know.
No, okay.
What?
No, I didn't drive, and Dave usually drives me home because he passes my house.
I'll give you a ride. I don't care.
You sure?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Robin, I'm sorry. You wanted me to look in February for a special meeting. And is that going to be a meeting that I post and it's with LMC or it's just?
It's a meeting to discuss agenda and application form and process.
So that
Sure.
still get live.
So it's, everything has to be live, so it's still.
Got it. Okay, so I'll look in those dates when we get back on Tuesday and let you know. Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Brittany.
Maybe we'll see you in person soon enough.
Maybe as soon as someo's off the agenda, I'm back.
I hear you.
Don't bother picking me up.
Bye.